Hello, chat. We are back for another relatively low-key episode with hopefully low-key music in the background that isn't drowning out our voices. So chat, feel free to help us troubleshoot that. We have started using pretzel rocks, which comes with far less drama than, what was it? Soundtrack. Soundtrack is a biatch and ruined our audio on our last VOD. So all of that wonderful roleplay was not properly recorded for internet posterity, and I am still bitter about it and not ashamed to say so. Gelflings? Oh, someone smells Gelflings. The Gelflings are 6 weeks away. But yep, they coming. Anyway, basically, they started construction on renovation on my building this week, so I am a little tired. Because they started on 2 floors above me and have been working their way down, and I have not been able to take naps during the day, and it is rough. But anyway, as of, yes, 5 New York City problems. I'm the GM, Ms. Chrysala. This is Exit to Eden, which is an NWoD, New World of Darkness, or Chronicles of Darkness, game set in a space opera setting where the Supernats are out and the veil has been blown to smithereens. Our protagonists currently reside in a system called Eden, and the capital of which is Eden City, quite possibly founded by space Vikings, where it is one of the last parts of the Expanse sector of space where it is okay to be a supernatural in public and not get your ass kicked. What our players have been learning about other places in the Expanse is that it is getting more and more dangerous to be an outed supernatural in those areas, and today they are going to maybe start working on helping one of those systems. We'll see. I've built a whole great big secondary sandbox, and we'll see how far we get into it today. But it is effectively 6,000 years in the future of NWoD. And humanity accidentally took all these supernaturals to space with them. Who knew? And if you look, there is a channel points game where you can buy bonuses for players or the GM that we can add to our rolls, because we are using a hack of the first edition NWoD Mind's Eye Theater rules, which we used in LARPing, hence Mind's Eye Theater, and it reduces each skill check, instead of every dot being a d10, you add all your dots to one d10 roll. 1s are a botch, 10s explode. And that leads to some rather epic rolls on this show, I can tell you. Yeah, I just remembered I need dice. I didn't write dice on my startup list of things to do. Anyway, if you have any questions about what the fuck we're doing, feel free to ask in the chat. Oh, Puka redeemed a player +1. Because I never said players couldn't do that, and y'all have your own accounts. You know, as long as your accounts are watching us right now, I don't really mind. Oh, and Voodoo Lukarensky. Yep, thank you, Voodoo Lukarensky. And we have one that Vampiric Yoda bought during the Thursday craft stream to get on Dracus's nerves.
That tracks.
Yep, and we do now have crafty streams on Tuesday and Thursday at 2 p.m. Just for an hour, because that is my lunch break, and work can't tell me what to do on my lunch break. And it is just a chill crafty stream where I either talk at chat or someone else end chat, depending on who's around. And you know, I don't see why you can't use the channel points during that to buy stuff for Saturday if you're not going to be here. I'll keep track of it. It's my game. I could totally keep track of it. It's fine. Everything's fine. Also a nice place for us to test out new tech for our stream, like this handy music that will not get erased from the VOD with everyone else's voices, we hope. But we tested some of these things on Thursday, and it turned out okay. Fingers crossed. But thank you for playing our channel points game. You can also spend 800 channel points for an NPC drop. Today's game is going to be a little bit different. It is, well, we'll see. It is a bit low-key. So we will see. I still have several 3 NPCs from the last couple episodes that have not been used yet. I may or may not be saving them for hijinks later. So don't you worry. They are on my list. If you are worried, just, whisper me, like, did you do the thing? Because, it's fine. Anyway. If you can't tell by now, I'm the GM. I'm driving this bus. Whether to safety or off a cliff has yet to be seen. So, going by my window, let's go clockwise. Josh, who are you playing today?
A hacker, a vampire, and CEO of Karve Tourism, or whatever we'll call this.
They all walk into a bar.
Ah, yes.
Sorry.
And that's bad because the bar is made of wood. Now they're stuck here for a while.
That's right. Our protagonists are...
Whoa, hang on.
No, what?
Voodoo, what do you mean he's playing a mute? Can you not hear Josh?
Josh sounds a little quiet to me, but I can still hear him. Voodoo Lukarensky, can you hear anyone else on stream other than me?
Also, can you hear me now?
Wow, that sounds like a lot better.
Make it. I just put the mic closer.
I hear Merc a bit. Alright, let me fuss with the audio some more.
Okay, I'll just keep talking then, so tell me when you can hear me better than just a bit. Things and stuff. I have a D100 I'm playing with. If you see me fiddling around with something, it's probably this.
Wait, why do you need a D100 for this game?
Because
I don't need a D100 for this game. I just need something to fiddle with.
Okay.
Oh, see, I've been fiddling with this, which is an old generation slider pen. With it's a steel pen with a metal slider bit.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Old action.
It feels really nice in the hand.
Lou says he can hear us better now. Okay. Or hear you guys better now. Alright.
Alright, just... Yeah, I'm like, let's get the audio issues out of the way before we start really properly.
I turned the desktop audio all the way up. Arcane can hear everyone. Thank you, chat, for helping us troubleshoot. Because I am still an OBS noob, and mixers are annoying. I was trying so hard to get the mixer balanced before stream, but okay. But yes, our protagonists also work for a chartered company known as Karve Tourism Ltd, which, aside from being what right now is a very successful tourism company, oh, well, we'll get to that, because it wasn't on the VOD, so we might as well bring that up later. They are also the front for an underground railroad that gets supernatural people and synthetic people and other marginalized persons in the galaxy out of hostile systems and into nicer ones. And Petruchio is the CEO and tech support.
Yep.
Because Von True Life. Next, Puka, who are you playing today?
Hello, I'm Puka. I'm playing Sungrazer, who is a changeling smuggler / subcontractor, I guess, for Karve. That used to be a plasma conduit.
Because that elemental life.
Hashtag changeling.
Just double checking that if I can move people's volumes around on Zoom like I can on Discord, but apparently not. Okay. Zardoz, who are you playing today?
I am playing Holiday, who is a lawyer who works with Karve. I also might be a changeling. See.
Or you just look a little bit different in the hedge because of weird hedge stuff.
I blame the hedge.
Sure, the hedge is exactly the one to blame for you being 8 feet tall and making Tuscan Raider noises. Not last episode, but the episode before that.
I don't make Tuscan Raider noises. I'm far less eloquent than that.
Yes.
Have you tried making Tuscan Raiders?
Not recently. But
Arcane says Puka and Zardoz are still a bit quiet.
I'm just a bit quiet naturally. I'll try eating my microphone like this, and maybe that'll help.
Nom
Do you
nom
want
nom.
me to speak loudly and more clearly for you?
Well, I can hear you just fine. Chat, is this more to your liking, chat?
I have medical excuse for being quiet tonight. So.
Yes.
This is my second booking of the day, and my voice gets a little quiet at this point.
Okay, Arcane says better on both. Woohoo! And look, a Pretzel Rocks bot thingy.
It's not actually spam.
Not a spam, but it's okay, because, yeah. I forgot to warn our mods that we have an actual bot, like, on purpose now. And maybe by next week we will have a night bot, if I can figure out how that works.
You ban him accidentally one time.
No, that's fine. I appreciate mods modding. Toss a coin to your mods. Or toss a coin to my mods. I don't have coins that much.
Well, Valley.
Or mods that much, honestly.
We have a tiny community right now. We really only need 2 mods. And me. It's cool. Anyway, speaking of mods, Merc, who are you playing today?
I'm playing Idun, the Wolf Blood. He's the fighter of the group, nominally. Or at least he's got all the guns, so... he keeps a number of guns in the office and more guns in his personal unit. And he's got connections everywhere, because he's a wolf blood, and wolf bloods like to travel in packs. We're not properly werewolves, and we don't technically need them, but the urge is there, and most of my cousins aren't that big of an asshole. And the ones who are, those are the ones that start the bar fights, so...
Woohoo! Yep, not a lot of werewolves in Eden City. Quite a lot in the wolf country, further out on the planet known as Balder. But for some reason...
I was gonna say, one of these days, I'd love to hear Dune sing 99 wolf-blooded guns on the wall in Dune voice, because I just think it would be wonderful.
Someday we'll do a charity stream and all these dreams will come true.
Yeah. Bribe me enough and I will.
It's for charity, though. Okay. So yes, when we last left our protagonists, heroes are scarce, even in the world of darkness of the future. News was building, well, let's see, our party had just been unofficially contracted by a priest of the Church of the Weird, which is a church of changelings and others who want to, who worship the weird itself, which in mechanics terms is the power stat that changelings and other hedge creatures and Arcadian creatures have. But these changelings worship the weird as if it is its own entity, with its own will and its own plan for each and every changeling and possibly each and every humanoid in the galaxy. And they build their own personal power by following what they think the path is that the weird has set out for them. Meanwhile, another system in the Expanse recently had all of its supernaturals forcibly ejected. Or rather, a hate group started hunting them down, so all of the Supernats living in Sandon system escaped as well as they could, including a group of members of the Church of the Weird, including their priest. This visiting priest got blamed for the disappearance of the local priest, and thus these folks were called in because of a personal connection to help out. And to be honest, when that priest was rescued and he said, wait, you're not in my church. Or are you? No, you're not. My church members didn't come to rescue me because they thought it was a plot by the visiting priest. Okay, we have some things to talk about when I get back. So, I mean, unless any of you wants to join the Church of the Weird, they accept people of all humanoid designations. No?
Tempting, but
Does one have to tithe? Not about the tithing.
You don't know yet.
We never got that far into the introduction manual.
I'm not giving 10% of my goblin fruit away.
Well, I mean, this is Eden City, and goblin fruit... Eden City is just positively rotten with goblin fruit. It is everywhere. Even on the mundane side, it is...
does rot.
Well, it does rot, yes.
When it does rot, it makes some really interesting booze when it does.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Fruit liqueur.
Goblin schnapps.
Goblin schnapps. And as you were embroiled in this interesting plot, more and more news is coming out about Limos system, trying to, which is another system in the Expanse, but closer to the core planets. The core planets were the original colonies when the human race on their colonizing ships got here after a 1,000-year journey. So the core has been settled for effectively 5,000 years, and they decided in the last century that not only are supernaturals potentially dangerous, they are anathema. So it is actually illegal to be a supernat in the core. In the last...
To be fair, there was like a whole war that contributed to that one.
Yes, and yes, so that was the Silent War about 50 years ago. An alien race known only as the Silent because, well, we still didn't really know what they looked like by the end of the war, took control of humans and supernaturals using a mutated plague, as far as anyone can tell. But their new masters, the masters of these enslaved people didn't show up on cameras, so that was annoying. But Supernats fought on both sides of that war, either unwillingly as slaves to the Silent, or willingly as the saviors of the human race, again. Also, they did a fair amount of work during the Thurzaz War, which is when the True Fae, the entities that turn people into changelings, just tried to outright conquer the galaxy. And that was at about, if this is the year, oh, I'm sorry, the core has been settled for over 4,000 years, and in about 1700 is when the True Fae tried to conquer the galaxy. So supernatural, anti-Supernat hysteria has ebbed and flowed and grown and decreased over the years since the 1700s, which is also when the Veil fell. But no, it didn't fall during the Silent War, or it didn't fall during the war with the True Fae. It fell after the war when someone was trying to understand the discrepancies in this blood bank. And some vampire showed his whole ass, and then the Veil just came crashing down, and I'm like, really? Really? You assholes invented the masquerade. The fuck are you doing? But that's the story.
The vampire showed his whole ass.
I like that. I like that it was actually a very mundane event that caused that to happen.
Supposedly. There are those who know enough about kindred politics to know that there's, the public story and there's the real story sometimes.
I mean, presumably there's all the previous times in which a journalist managed to get a vampire story, and for some reason those were all killed.
Or converted.
Made into fiction, like Interview with the Vampire.
Arcane the Sage. The vampire's butt was so ugly it shattered the veil. Yep. It does, however, make sense that if the vampires were out there like, fuck you guys, we're taking the rest of you with us.
I mean,
this is not on just us.
I mean, if it was a pasty vampire butt, it was a full moon at that point, and that got all the werewolves.
Well played. Well played.
The super face palm.
Arcane the Sage will match you with that and raise you the Blood Moon. More puns. synths. They give me strength. So yeah, all that, we hate Supernats because they're scary, even though they keep saving humanity. Duh. Is definitely coming to a head. Sandon. Well, what's happening is there are certain systems in the Expanse that are being offered official membership into the Core. But to do that, they need to adopt the Core's laws. And the people getting caught in the crossfire of all this are the Supernats. So, it's rough. And there is mounting news from a system called Limos that is also interested in joining the Core systems. Is also starting to follow suit. Putting pressure on the Supernats to get the fuck out. And there's inequality. There's marginalization. There's discrimination. It is not fun. And thanks to, you know, my gentle prodding as GM, I think the idea is our group of Underground Railroad aficionados are going to at least try to help the people of Limos. So, players, what do you want to do first towards this, towards this end action, or begin action?
Course of action?
Course of action.
So, quick question, where'd I end up last episode?
You ended up getting escorted out of the hedge by a bunny rabbit. A helpful bunny rabbit, who also, yep, also helpfully got you through a hedge gate that got you basically directly into a mercenaries union meeting house, office, guild hall, basically. Yes, one way that supernaturals can still work in the Expanse is through the unions. Not everyone in the same company has to be the same union. Idun is in the Mercenaries Union. And there was, since the weird priest was kidnapped by a blighter cult, they found out, oh, there's an open bounty on blighter cult members. That is more if they're alive. So Idun took the alive one and got a bounty. I forget how much the bounty was, but...
It was one universal favor.
Ah, yeah. Put on by the Changeling Seasonal Courts, who reside in the Riverside district of Eden City. So, the rich folk, who can afford to put universal bounties out. Or, ongoing bounties. Most bounties in the Mercs Union are, like, one target, yeah, one and done. But Eden's, I mean, every system does things a little bit differently. And the blighter cults have been a problem in other systems. So, and the changelings are grossly powerful in the system, both magically and mundanely, so they probably have enough leverage to ask the Mercs Union
to keep one open for them.
Yep. And the Merc Union is like, well, as long as you're paying, as long as you pay the bounty as received, okay.
Okay. So after that, I probably headed back to the office, and that's where I am currently.
Yes. And Holiday took Klaus, our mage, who could not play tonight, which is, you know, they have stuff to do. They're being all magey. Klaus had an unfortunate incident where they met an AI that started talking to them through a news screen out on a public street, and then it uploaded itself into their head. And then an attempt to dislodge it ended in a botch roll for a whole bunch of hackers.
There were 3 botches involved in that.
There are at least 3 botches. There was a sad story. So Klaus currently has an AI stuck in their head, and had the good sense to, maybe I should take care of my mental health part of this while this is a problem. And while the therapist, the psychiatrist, did refer them to a tech person because, you know, when people have plugins in their brains, sometimes shit happens. Even the med tech was kind of mystified. It's like, I keep wiping the drive, it's still there. This makes no sense. So Klaus is probably off trying to deal with that some more, going to see more specialists.
Step 1 is a therapist. Step 2 is a tech expert. Step 3 is the exorcist.
I mean, you'll see.
Just saying.
And so Holiday, what did you do after oh, that's right, and then you all went to
Went to Clancy's.
Clancy's, the Nova Court bar. No.
I will be filling out paperwork and signing payroll checks and other things and taking care of business so that I can be away from Nova Court territory for about a month in preparation of where we're going.
Okay, you're staying away from the Nova Court?
No.
Or-
We'll be gone out of system.
Oh, yes.
So I'm taking care of all of my responsibilities here with the Nova Court and the business I run ahead of time, so that everybody's got their paperwork lined out, everybody's got their paychecks, everybody knows what we're supposed to be doing for next month.
Yep.
Court dates are pushed back, fines are paid, people are not in jail.
Yeah, I mean, the emergency services and law enforcement in Eden is very fair, but stuff still happens.
We break things.
It's the Nova Court. They're much like the Summer Court. Shit breaks. Whoops. And you know, that lovely wall of watches where they keep track of who is about to be visited by another huntsman. Yay! You've still got some time on yours.
I've got like 27 days. Ish.
Okay.
I'll be checking that, and then I'll be checking with my contacts to see if I can figure out what the military situation in the other system we're going to is like.
Okay.
Did you tell Dune that we're going to go to another system?
I did not. I have not made that fact known, though Petruchio might have.
Fair enough.
I think you knew that we were planning for an expedition to Limos because the whole Supernats thing and how they'd taken a bunch of Supernats and put them on other planets and all that stuff. Or a satellite or something. I don't know.
More that, with the rising intolerance, a whole lot of Supernats have left the main planet and settled on a small colony on one of their moons.
Right.
That was already there, but it's getting a little crowded.
Right. I was the new priest from that place? Or was I thought new priest was from a separate planet.
She was from another planet where we'll say that storyline of the weird hit critical mass, and they all had to leave very quickly.
Right. So that's what I'm thinking. Is I don't know that Dune was around for any of the discussions involving Limos. Like, I just kind of ended up swanning into my buddies because they'd called for help, and then they'd stopped responding in the hedge, and so I went and fought, and that was when the dragon was. And then I went immediately to take the ogre to the bounty place, and I don't know that I actually heard any of the plans to go to Limos.
Actually, in that case, Dune, roll wits politics.
Okay.
At a penalty if you don't have politics, I don't remember.
I do not.
Okay.
That's a -1, right?
I believe so, yes.
9, 1 success.
Awesome. So you overhear, so we'll say that this is basically where the Union Master General just has their office.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, there's water cooler talk. You know, people hang out. It's the Mercs Union. It's not super formal. This Union Master General is also a member of the Merchant Marine, so he did fight in the Silent War.
There's always at least one table where people are comparing their new weapons.
Oh yes.
It's just perpetual.
Oh yeah.
It cycles, but there's just at least one table of those.
It's almost a little bit like a cross between like a post office and a gentleman's club, where there's people like hanging out between jobs and checking their weapon. There's like a weapons cleaning station and all that. But a few people who would be comparing the size of their guns are instead everyone's kind of sitting around this table, like looking at this news report and getting kind of cranky about it, and it is about the Limos system. At which point the Union Master General says, let me see, says that ugh, did you hear what's going on out there? Like, union work is down 40%. Like, they're just not, people are just not hiring unions.
Really?
Because
I hadn't heard anything about the system recently. I've been otherwise preoccupied. My co-workers have rather a nose for trouble, and they'd gotten into a lot of it.
that happens. There's lot more trouble going on in Limo's system, though.
Oh?
There's well, I mean, there's a lot of pressure to out the Supernats. Like, both out them and kick them out like they did in Sandin system.
That's no good for anybody.
Yeah,
It's
it's...
asking for a Thursday's incursion. Not to mention whatever the hell the gauntlet looks like over there.
At least one person in the room is like, Odom Datakas. And it's like, Odom Datakas.
They'll have spirits coming out their ears before they know it.
It's not my area, but I've heard some stories, and yeah, it's just, ugh.
Well, if they're going to be intolerant assholes, on their own head be it. Still.
Yeah, I talked to, we had at least one merc came off the ship from Sandin. They were in space for over a month because they couldn't use the jump gate. They were pretty messed up by the time they got here.
Why couldn't they use the jump gate? I thought they were accessible to anyone.
Apparently not so much when you're on deck to become a core system. Apparently they get say in who uses it and who doesn't. You would think if they wanted the Supernats gone, they would let them through, but they just had to be extra assholes, apparently.
Well, much appreciated for the heads up. I suppose that I should probably let my comrades know. There will probably be an uptick in business for us, if you know what I take my meaning.
Yep. See you later.
I still head back to the office, but now I'm gonna poke Jimothy to
Jimothy the intern.
To Limos.
Okay, Mr. Dune, I'll do that.
I've told you once, I've told you a dozen times. It's just Dune.
Okay, Mr. Dune. Actually, no, because this is a post-gender society. He would just say Dune, because gender is a social construct. And some people don't like gendered honorifics?
It's mostly the fact that Dune doesn't, Dune's the kind of guy's like, no honorifics, please,
Honorifics, yes.
Doesn't matter if they're gendered or not, it's just like, don't need a mister.
So he may have been using mix originally, but Dune wanted no honorific.
Just Dune.
Just Dune.
Okay, so, and Sungrazer and Petruchio last game, I believe, were taking a quick look at their new company ship.
Yep.
And Petruchio figuring out what to do with 2 hedge pets that they now have.
Yep. Which mostly
cramming the dragon into the broom closet.
Yep, so the Cosmic Courts were basically the ones impounding it, more or less, and they've been studying the fact that this ship has a hollow on it, which is not a thing that's supposed to happen. Y'all found this ship because one of your clients was kidnapped by privateers, who are changelings that kidnap humans and other changelings and sell them back to Arcadia, presumably as a deal where they get to keep their freedom. And they're just all-around bastards, and changelings don't like them.
According to the chat, we're still having problems with the mix, at least for some people.
I'm having trouble hearing anyone but the GM. Oh, for Christ's sake.
I turned up my input on my microphone, so I don't know if I can
Well, we
still
can hear
do
you
this more.
fine.
Okay, I'm gonna turn my mic down, so then at least we're even, and maybe people can just turn up their own volume.
I've turned up the gain for my mic as high as it'll go.
Mm,
I could go louder, but everyone else sounds okay. So
okay.
people can hear me. It's probably
Yeah,
not.
I can hear everyone on the Zoom, so the problem probably is with my mixer, because I'm the one running the OBS. Damn it. Hello,
Talking much.
Shermernit, thank you for joining us. I hope you can hear us a little bit better now. Or rather, hear me worse and can just turn up your volume. Anyway. So yes, y'all accidentally captured this ship when you were hunting privateers who kidnapped your client. And found within the ship itself a gateway into the hedge and into a little hollow, which then itself had a door out to the hedge, where you saw the remains of the privateers as they had been beaten to death by a hedge creature made of stone and electricity, which you then got to fight, because you're not really sure what was up with that, but it seemed to want to beat a lot of things up.
Yep, and then Dune ended up tracking it back to its origin, which was like Looney Tunes just walked itself out of a wall of a warehouse somewhere, some dilapidated warehouse in the hedge.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think was notable because the warehouse in the hedge did not match the building that was in the real world in that same location.
I don't remember.
That's the other place. I know at least one place we visited so far has where the building in the hedge and the building in the real world didn't match. One was the original building that had burned down or something, and then the one in the real world was the one that had been rebuilt on the ashes.
Oh yeah, but that's fairly standard for the hedge. Well, not Dune might not know that. Dune might not want to know that. But it's fairly standard that the hedge, like the shadow or the Hysil, is a dimension of reflection on the real world, not necessarily a carbon copy of it. However, recent excursions to the hedge show that it is a very close likeness. And it is surprisingly difficult to get lost in the outer hedge.
At least in Eden.
Yeah, it's very difficult in Eden City to get lost in the far hedge from the near hedge. And, well, that's nice. But you also literally have thousands upon thousands of changelings to take care of the hedge in the city, so. So yeah, you've got a hollow on this ship, and that's not supposed to happen.
Just in addition to checking out the guidance system and whatever that Petruchio wanted him to look at, Sungrazer is also going to be pulling up every chart and space lane diagram possible for getting to Limos.
Mm-hmm.
So, planning for navigations.
Okay. Well, the way that works in this setting is that there are Stygian gates, which are effectively like the jump gates in Babylon 5. Where you can tell effectively Stargate, or the Stargates, but in space. I didn't watch the Stargate series. I don't know if there were any in space.
We need a shape-shifting Egyptian deity on our team to open it.
I mean, if someone buys the NPC, things could be...
If you'll permit us to buy NPCs while we're in the middle of a game, I will absolutely put that one in.
I mean, I ended up buying Mary Lloyd at one point, because...
Yoo-hoo! And it turned out to be the mayor in a costume. Because the mayor is a Nosferatu Carthian, and they like costumes. Oh, I love my game. Anyway.
Valid.
Yes, Petruchio.
When you get a chance, do you want to keep an eye out on the hollow here? Most of us can't really get there, and our salesperson is a little busy selling things.
Sure. I mean, if by keep an eye on you mean like hold the door shut, then yes, absolutely.
Yeah, something like that.
Sungrazer just spits on a zip tie and ties the cabinet doors shut.
They're
Yep.
very good at opening things, not so good at keeping things shut, though. I must
Oh
admit.
well, I'm not sure what to do without the cat bus. I don't know how this works. It's apparently an AI and also a hedge thing. I don't know how this works.
I mean, put it in a cardboard box. See how
I
that goes.
suppose I could introduce. I mean, I don't know what would happen if I introduced just the ship's AI.
Could be amusing.
Sungrazer, I'm not gonna make you roll for it, because I forget how to roll clarity in this game. Or no, I forget how to roll kenning in this game. I think it's actually a No, wait, no, you add your clarity to a d10. That is...
Ooh.
So roll... This is not a morality break. This is just... Clarity is what helps you distinguish between reality and reality and the hedge and the non-reality.
I'm gonna use the green and black die for that. Botch.
You know, it looks like a hedge beast to you, but maybe it is an AI. You don't fucking know.
If I'm gonna botch on anything tonight, I'm glad that that's it. I hope that's the only botch.
Get
tonight.
that bad dice karma out of the
Yeah.
way now. Yep.
Green and black die. You can take a seat.
Dice jail for you. Jail, you step on me yet? You kick me at like the football. No, I was just... Jail for Mazel! Jail for 1,000 years! Sorry. Cat meme I didn't know existed until St. Patrick's Day, and now I can't stop. I'll put it on the Discord later.
Oh, I know it. It's been on Tumblr for a while.
Anyway, French kitten. French ragdoll. Yeah, so, we're still finalizing the XP on the ship, but yeah, you've, once the Cosmic Courts were like, okay, do you want it? Because, Zell the bartender, aka the Thorn Queen, seems to have put in a good word for you that even though you didn't exactly kill the privateers, you were instrumental in finding the ship.
We killed the thing that killed the privateers.
And you did that, but also Zell vouch. You get a sense. You have gotten a sense thus far. Actually, Petruchio, roll. Let's say wits politics.
Sure.
That close enough. You're
Ignore
Von
that.
True. You have politics.
Find. Oh, that's where it is. Sure, it's a 9 on the die. So that is a 12, and politics. It's not a vampire. So 15 free successes.
Okay. So Petruchio, from you've probably been emailing with someone in the Cosmic Courts who's been, because they've just been. You didn't say whether or not you wanted the hollow closed. So they've just been studying it. They're like, we might as well keep it open and study how the fuck this works, because this is not in the standard player rules. So it's almost as if the people who wrote it didn't expect or plan on players getting one. Which is, I believe, short-sighted. But yeah, this is not a thing that's supposed to happen, because...
We're players. We steal everything that's not nailed down.
Yeah, that's what's supposed to happen.
And also, they give us so little space in a ship, even if we put an enormous amount of effort into it, that why wouldn't we take extra space if we were given it?
Yep. So, basically, the thing about deep space is this gets into lore of the Mage book. Either deep space is the abyss, or it is such an accurate representation of the abyss that it is the abyss. Thus, if you are out in space without a bulkhead, i.e. a spaceship has enough bulkhead to get you from place to place through space. A decently sized space station will have more or less a permanent bulkhead, as will a planet or a colony on a small planet, etc. Magic in space, hedge stuff, mage stuff, even vampire disciplines, space itself eats at that. And then once it's eaten that, it goes for your bulkhead. And then once it's gone through that, it eats at the brains and souls of the humanoids in the ship. So to have a hollow on a small ship is very weird. Well, very strange. They are pretty sure that the hollow, as it stands, is protected within the bulkhead of this ship, even if you go out into space. And it does seem to it does seem to have an exit into the hedge itself, as long as you are behind a larger bulkhead, whether it's on a station or a planet, etc. But they haven't taken it out into space, so they don't know what happens to that door when you're in space. They are...
Only one way to find out.
Yep. So they're like, this is strange, and we're not sure we like it, but... because of the politics, you are pretty sure that you are more getting this ship because Zell put in a good word for you, and probably Zell would rather you guys have it than someone else. Right. Again, because yes, that is extra smuggling space, maybe for people. So it kind of works nicely with your business model and your side hustle model. But you're pretty sure this is, I mean, it did help that you did destroy Thurzez. So that was an actual, like, okay, we don't feel bad about giving this to these people now. But the main reason you guys, because they offered you either to keep the ship or do you want to pay out? Because there's also a bounty out for these kinds of ships, which the Eden system changelings have heard about, but this is the first one they've actually seen in the system. Not that they haven't been through, it's just we haven't caught one yet. Oh, redeemed NPC. Goddamn, Puka. Shape-shifting Egyptian deity alien who can open stargates. Okay.
Yeah. So, introducing the, cat bus, to the ship's AI. Good idea? Bad idea? Interesting idea?
Whom are you asking?
You.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
The changeling that knows ships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, AIs aren't exactly my specialty, and I have never seen anything quite like this cat-shaped. What is this? Is really my question. What am I looking at right now?
You don't know because you failed your check.
Go figure.
I'm not sure. It showed up when we were in the hedge, and started out thinking, not realizing that we had left the where I was born.
Oh god, it's rubbing its face against my leg.
It's so rumbly.
Why does it have seats inside of it?
Oh.
You're cute, but you're also weird and disgusting.
Because it's a cat bus.
All right, listen. It is very cute. I'll grant you that, but I don't want to be the one to have to clean up after it. That's all I'm saying.
Can you clean up after yourself?
Oh, sure. I'm sorry, that's right. You can actually understand it.
I can actually understand it.
Oh, yes, of course. I am very clean and tidy. And also a bus.
It says that it is very clean and tidy, and also a bus.
Sorry, I have to ask Fadir for clarification.
Good for it. Gonna just get a box and like nudge the cat bus into the box and be like, there you go.
Do you want to talk to the ship's AI? It's very dumb right now, but it's also very young.
Yeah, I've never seen Red Dwarf. Like, a friend who's an enthusiast, and Holly has been played by both male and female actors, I think.
Yes, that's why I asked. And Fadir said both. Okay. Okay, so what's happening, dudes? Says the AI.
That's the ship's AI.
That's the ship's. That's NWoD, I think you were calling him.
I was in fact calling it NWoD.
What's happening, dudes?
Oh.
Hey, I don't know if you can talk to this, but this is my young AI, which seems to be re-embodied as something from the hedge. I don't know if you can talk though.
Hello, Catbus. Please give me your AI designation. And what particularly what you hear is it's giving its serial number as you remember it, but sorry, I didn't get that. Can you do it again? I'm sorry, I don't think this is the real AI.
That seems fair.
I think
can
this
hear.
is. I don't know what is. I'm assuming it's friendly. It looks very soft. But
It is very soft.
that is not an AI. Sorry. Fadir, I've been watching Red Dwarf since I was 12. I would hope I have a decent British accent by now. What's happening, dude?
All right.
Like, oh, yeah.
I think I finished up here. I need to do some research for the trip.
Likewise. Charts.
Okay. So, Limos system is a couple jump gates away. They don't just go straight from gate to gate. There's like a beep, 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 beep. You have to go around. But yeah, once, I mean, there's a pretty clear flight path, like,
Yeah.
basically there is an Imperial Protectorate military station, like, right next to it. And
That's what
generally,
I'd like to avoid.
yeah. Well, it's generally they communicate with incoming ships and assign them berths on whichever of the planets or other bodies in the system that they want to land on.
To be clear, I'm less interested in the getting to and from the system as sneaking around the system once we're in it. So that's more what I'd be looking for.
Well, from what you can find in the Stygian Gate database, which holiday you can also find since you are also looking for military info, and this stuff is pretty easy to basically space Google or on StarNet.
Which is what I've been having Jimothy do.
Jimothy.
Yeah, you cut briefly to a scene of Dune and Jimothy in the office. Dune is kind of sitting at the computer and squinting a little bit, and Jimothy's got a desperate look with one hand on the back of the chair and one hand pointing at the screen going, click that. I'm begging you, click it.
And click that, and then say yes, and then type in your birth date, and then click that. Yeah.
Click that.
You have to make an account, though.
Trying to get information on Limos.
Dune yelling at it is like, no, it doesn't respond to voice command, not this one, and yeah. Anyway, so Holiday and Sungrazer, you are both studying basically the same thing from different angles. There is a Protectorate Navy presence, but it's basically a small station like right next to the jump gate. It's been there since the Silent War. But basically they are more just kind of a listening station and just sort of, you know, what planet are you going to so we can figure out where you can land.
Are there any...
I mean, they are a military outpost, so there is a possibility. I mean, depends on if you annoy the military that day. But it's really just right there, so once you get past that, sneaking around the system isn't so bad, but you do need to, like, announce when you're taking off from Logoi, which is the main populated planet, you do have to announce, like, where you're going, whether it's to the jump gate, or to the moon, Dysnomia, or their asteroid belts, or whatever else.
Yeah, or just find creative ways to avoid disclosing that information, too.
Yeah. There's things you can try.
It's good to know if they're asteroid belts. I was going to ask if there are any interesting astronomical phenomena that we might use to our advantage. So,
there's a regular yellow star. There's an M-class planet, which is Logoi, and there is a. Did I say it was a moon, or did I say it was another planet? I said
both.
Yeah.
It could be a downgraded, like Pluto.
Dwarf planet.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a separate planet rather than a moon, but it's a bit more like Mars. There's the atmosphere.
That's no moon.
That's no moon. It's like
Said
Mars, but
moon.
ochre.
Okay.
Yes, that tracks from what I remember the first time you mentioned.
Yes. Except that it does have a barely breathable atmosphere, and this is all basically like star Wikipedia.
Mhm.
So, since y'all are looking,
I'm jotting down the layout of that listening post.
Yep.
Just sketching it from memory.
So there is the main inhabited planet of Logoi. Because in this case, I guess it's space Argonauts or Trojans. We'll see. Chat, do you know what I'm talking about? Probably not. It was
Not Spoogle? Okay.
not Spoogle.
I mean, if you're referring to like Greek legend, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
but-
Well, you know, everything is Norse and Eden because space Vikings, so everything is Greek in this other system because
Ah.
space Argonauts or Trojans. I haven't decided. Well, Trojans weren't Greek though, so it would be Argonauts.
Trojans were not Greek, and we're definitely not going to be the Minoceans. So
Woohoo! So, main inhabited planet is Logoi, is an M-class planet. Estimated population is 30 billion.
Yeah.
And does anyone here know what Coruscant was like in the Star Wars books? It's basically a planet covered in a megacity entirely that goes a mile high.
It is at the risk of being booed. It is also in the prequel films.
Yeah, yeah.
it is.
But I only imprinted on the books.
How big is the planet?
30 billion people, and the city goes
Yeah.
a mile up from the surface, which means in
Yeah.
the high spires they need environmental systems because you also can't breathe there. Well,
Right.
actually, no, mile high. It's just, you know, it is harder to breathe up there, so they have environmental support.
Well, I mean,
The higher up
that,
you go.
that assumes that you're starting at sea level
Yeah.
at the base, which may not necessarily be. So it's a mile above the planet's surface, so it may be indeed be very hard to breathe in points.
But
But no, it was just. Earth's population is 7 trillion, I want to say.
Earth?
13
Billion.
billion is still not even 1 trillion, so I'm like,
Which planet?
Earth. This one.
7 billion. 7 billion.
7 billion.
7 billion, okay. Never mind then.
Or 7 or 8 billion, depending, yeah. So yeah, this is 30 billion because the entire planet is coded in city, which is far more traditional in an expanse system. Because they've had 2,000 years to build it.
Strangely, this is an expanse system.
Yeah, like Eden City is like pastoral compared to this, if I'm using that word correctly. The capital district, because it's really just one big city, so it's really districts rather than states or cities, etc. The capital district is Horkos. Okay, I wrote this as Dysnomia is a smaller planet with less atmosphere and more domes. Their estimated population is 20,000 as of a census done about 5 years ago. You'll definitely get a sense that Eden's system is better at tracking these things than this system. One of the things on Dysnomia, the center of life on Dysnomia, or society on Dysnomia, is a spaceport and shipyard that is both on and above the planet. It is technically run by the Limos government, as far as you can tell. But it's only making about 20% of the ships it used to during its heyday during the Silent War. So this is a big place for shipbuilding and equipment. This system is still a hub of industry and manufacturing, and just builds all of the things. In official newsreels, yes, Limos government is being pressured to conform with the laws and dictates of the Core so that it can join the Core officially. And polls of the populace of the system say that the public seems to be in favor of expansion policy, which is what they're calling the Core expansion into the Expanse. So many words that all sound the same. And there are news reports that it's not so much there's a news report that Supernats are fleeing from Logoi to Dysnomia, but no one's really tracking the numbers that closely. There's lots of system news about 2 megacorps, Consolidated and Paragon Consolidated. Both companies seem to have a heavy investment in this system. There are also op-eds about Supernats and magic being dangerous and evil and unnatural, and saying that the Supernats are clearly using Dysnomia as a staging ground for future attacks against the main planet. So that's fun. But yeah, Logoi is a huge, like, Tech 4 level industry manufacturing hub. Eden system is kind of on the edge of 3 and 4. Because it is very high tech, but it's like... care was taken over its 2,000-year history to not let it become one giant city. But that also means it may be lagging behind some other Expanse systems. Like, this is a solidly Tech 4, maybe edging into Tech 5 kind of cyberpunk dystopian planet system thing.
At the headline about Supernats using the moon as a base to stage attacks, cut to a scene. Dune and Jimothy just found the same thing, and Dune ends up breaking the keyboard because he puts his fist down on it too hard, and Jimmy's like, "That's my keyboard!"
Oh, you're gonna love this next part. So Limos system, firearms and other weaponry are not permitted to be carried by citizens or visitors unless allowed by permit. Unless you're, and yeah. Also, it's illegal to carry a blade 4 or more inches long, and that carrying one, or being caught with one, is a misdemeanor.
Filing permits for firearms, weapons, and other guns.
Yeah, firearms, depending on what they find on you and what side of the cot bed they woke up on that morning. Firearms, carrying an illegal firearm can range from misdemeanor to felony. Also, the casting of sorcery, spells, and enchantments also ranges from misdemeanor to felony. And that's a new law that's there. You find a news report on that law. It's only been on the books about 3 months.
How popular?
Huh?
How popular is that law?
Based on the op-eds, very popular. Yeah. This is the best thing to do to protect us from those horrible supernaturals.
Sending a text to everyone. Tell me what guns you need permits for.
Basic laser pistol.
Yeah, just send me a list. You don't have to list them out.
That's it.
Anybody who doesn't have one,
that's all I have.
Do the firearm bans cover non-lethal weapons as well? Is a taser a gun?
I'm gonna say yes. It includes incendiary devices.
Right.
Yeah.
But not stun weapons.
Is it legal to carry a stun weapon in New York? Because that's what I've been basing this on. Nope. Yeah, no.
Okay.
So those are not legal. Consider this an annoying version of the U.S.
Fair. Got it.
That's basically what I've been basing it on. Okay, another NPC.
Holiday, you see the typing icon pop up with under Dune's name, and it goes on for a very long while.
Like, I'm just gonna go ahead and start filing paperwork for permits.
I'm going to leave Jimothy to cry over his broken keyboard, and I mean,
So
we have more in the closet, but this was just his favorite.
So you broke it for that part, and then when you got to the I am not allowed to carry guns, you just threw it across the room. I assume.
There's nothing left of that keyboard. It was Jimothy's favorite. It had his custom keycaps on it, which he's a little mad about, but he can.
You can move those though. You can change those to another computer as long as you didn't break the keycap itself. You know.
Yeah. So he's gonna have to overly. Oh, for fuck's sake! Thanks, Fadior.
Dude got mad, broke the keyboard, went to the closet, pulled out the next keyboard, broke it ahead of time.
He's gonna get one of and I'm gonna start head out to aid. Well, first I'm gonna text Holiday the list of weapons I'm bringing, which is long and dangerous.
Yeah, there's a reply about halfway through. Really? All right, fine.
Seriously?
Message
What?
1 of 6.
Part 1.
What's
Just
their,
very.
Call
stance
me
on,
Ishmael.
defensive clothing?
Huh?
What's their stance on body armor?
Body armor is not illegal so long as it's not a power suit mounted with weapons.
Right.
And
And also,
Or rather, you need a permit for weapons. If it's just armor, that is not something they're controlling.
they're gonna look at it though, so I'm gonna get a permit for it just in case.
Yeah.
and to be fair, they banned the weapons, right? But they didn't ban the ammunition. Because I know there are some illegal types of ammunition, like you can't have hollow points in the U.S. I
Okay,
believe.
yeah. Basically,
but your basic ammunition is not illegal. Like you can have as much ammunition as you want.
I would actually say in this system the ammunition is also illegal unless it's a power cell that can be used for something else.
Okay.
Because you can always say, well, this is not a power cell for the pulse rifle that does 20 points of damage to any building. This is for my cell phone.
That must be some cell phone.
This is from my personal shield generator that will keep me from getting killed by that pulse rifle.
Yeah, essentially. Funnily enough, the energy cores do work for both.
Yeah.
Apparently, you don't need a permit for the personal energy field. So.
Yeah. But I am gonna go out into the city and see if I can find a couple of different weapons that I'm gonna add, and also more information from my cousins. See what they have to say about this. And
your local cousins?
my cousins, but not the local ones. I'm gonna go head over to the spaceport and see if anybody's getting drunk in the bars who's been to Limos recently.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll send emails to my any of my friends who might be in Limos who might have ears to the ground.
Okay, through which series of contacts? Let me look at your sheets.
Probably my military contact.
Okay.
I'll tap some smuggling contacts.
I've got allies wolves or allies wolfbloods. Either one will do.
Okay. All right. I'll get back to you for a moment. I just want to. So Patricio, so this is all happening basically on the group chat.
Yep.
Okay, Patricio. This is not exactly a new thing in Limo system. Like, there's always been people you've had to get out because apparently they have Supernat detectors of some sort. So this has been going on for a few years, but you think about it and you haven't heard of any of your local contacts in that system for a while.
Right. Sure. I'm going to start. So I want to do 2 searches that I'm going to start working on, not quite in parallel. One of them is I may end up setting NWoD to helping out with one of these. I haven't actually given you NWoD's abilities, but one of them is the information grabbing one.
Okay, so you want to set up the AI NPC?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
then I don't have to do it.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay.
I can pick 4 things. I can pick 4 things. I did some research on that.
They basically act like spirits in a funky way because they have Numina. Is that what they're still called?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they basically chat. AI act like spirits because they have Numina.
And they've picked a bunch of Numina, picking from like every book they've printed. It's very annoying.
Yeah. Oh, that's cute. Pretzel Rocks is playing something called The Expanse. Anyway.
So what we're looking for is one. It sounds like it is a big, incredibly populated planet. So basically, almost any cover that is plausible would work. Just because you have, it's very, but maybe not. but trying to figure out which covers would cover people who apparently like carrying lots of weapons with relatively little notice, keeping in mind that we can actually have a fair amount of money invested in the cover. And not
Okay.
seem like, hey, these are a bunch of Supernat advocates in disguise.
Hmm.
Not that that's not semi-accurate. The other one is using computers. I'm going to try to look up and see if I can get any details on where my contacts were last seen, and whether they've been eliminated, arrested, or what. I think my elite allies probably helps better with the cover than it does with the other one. But the hacker friends, my hacker contacts might be able to help with the search.
Okay. Okay. And did I write down how that merit works? I did somewhere. Okay, well, fuck it. All right.
Do they have arms dealers on the planet? Can there be a
Paragon
permit
is-
for that?
Funny
Paragon
story.
is an arms company.
Okay,
What's that?
everyone.
Paragon is primarily an arms company.
Ah.
We know that from last time.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know anything about whatever it is that they make. We haven't heard about them yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, feel free if you have any clues from the if you have any clues you can role play from all the various things you read, like the player documents for the setting. If you've read it, yeah, you've heard of this thing. In your personal splat books, if you read it, yes, you've heard of that thing. Even if you were maybe Supernat adjacent rather than the full Supernat.
I'll send a note to Dune.
So yeah.
See if your friends in the cousins in the mining guild might know if there's anything valuable of a resource we might want to pick up while we're in the system, just in case.
I send back a thumbs up emoji.
Okay, so
Does
hold
it
on.
have a little claw at the end?
No.
Like a thumb? With
Not yet. Anyway, let me bring up the document I need.
Dude's not really that kind of werewolf.
Yet.
Not yet. Okay, so contacts. Gaining information from contacts during a session requires a successful manipulation plus persuasion or socialize draw. Depending on the relationship, you've been doing pretty well with the hackers. Like you helped take down a Thurazaz at a tech convention, and then you joined the Code Monkeys. Like you're doing pretty well with that. Penalties might apply. Okay, starting with Shirkyos, because his questions are kind of complicated. What did you want to ask the hackers about?
If they can find any details on the contacts I had on the local system and where they may have ended up.
Okay. In that case, I need you to roll manipulation plus persuasion or socialize, whichever is higher.
Yep. That's 7 base. 10 is 1 success.
Alright, so...
Unless hacking applies when talking to hackers, which arguably it could, but I don't think so.
Not quite in this circumstance.
Yeah.
They, like... We'll say that this, shopping episode, more or less, is just that you're sourcing. You're trying to get information and work out what supplies you want. But it is technically a very weird sci-fi shopping episode. We'll say this is happening over the course of a few days, or let's say this happens over the course of a week. It is taking your hacker contact, like, they're actually checking in to apologize. They're like, I don't know why they're not answering. Like you're getting a few nibbles, but after a few days, you only hear back about maybe what did I say? You had, based on your own notes, Karve had about 40 contacts within the system for its various extraction packages, and mostly centered in a neighborhood called Ponos. but like after a few days, you could usually get in contact with any one of them within a few days. It's been a few days. They have found 5. They are still working on it, but it doesn't look good. And you're having a lot of trouble. And one of your contacts has said that at least one of your hacker friends has said that one of your Limos contacts, at the very least, just fucking disappeared. They weren't the best contact for an underground node, but they were very vocal about being pro Supernats.
Yep.
You're not actually sure whether or not they were Supernat, but they're gone now, and the hacker friend is like, I don't know what happened to them.
Probably taken in by a secret police.
Maybe.
Or lynched by a mob. Be about as many records either way.
Yeah, mob would show up on the news. Maybe.
Not if it's part of a pattern.
Yeah.
Only if it, after the first couple, you only report on the really gruesome ones,
Systemic racism.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah. All right. So there's that. We will get to the elites and covers. Think about that for a little while I'll talk to you. Okay. So, Holiday. Who are you talking to about stuff?
My military contact about getting into contact with the rest of my military associates who were maybe in the system.
Okay.
To organize let them know, just to get in contact with them, to let them know that, that they're still alive, that sort of a thing.
Oh, wait, that's Sungrazer's sheet. I'm like, wait, what? Oh, okay.
No, I call it
Wrong
Captain
changeling.
Wow, those are awful social skills.
It was more looking at your contacts and going, wait, why would you have those No, wait, no, wrong sheet. Okay, so you're contacting. Okay, so that.
I'll end up calling Fitch about seeing what the crime syndicates in Limos are like. See if he has any dealings with that particular bunch of miscreants.
Okay, so you're shaking the tree of your military buddy and your black market buddy.
Yes.
Those will be 2 separate roles.
Yeah.
So that is, I just said it, but this is why I write things down.
The same number.
Manipulation plus persuasion or socialize. Again, I'll allow whichever is higher.
They're the same.
Okay.
Does striking looks apply to either one? Is it a social role?
Are either of them in Eden City where you can actually hang out with them, or is this a phone call?
Yes, they both are.
Okay, then I'll allow that.
Okay. So.
But you do have to. I mean, you have a week. You do have to like basically make a date with them. Which both of them are kind of cool.
Flex that pretty face. Striking face.
You a pretty man, person.
I am a very pretty man. Let's see. Perception or persuasion plus manipulation is 7. Plus 2 for that. 27 for the military guy.
Jesus.
So like 9 successes. And I've got a 17 for the other one.
Wait, how did that happen?
I 10 again on my first one.
Jesus.
Yeah. And I have a manipulation of 3 and a persuasion of 4.
You really did put on the face for this.
Yes, I'm actually quite good at talking to people. It's kind of fun.
So this is usually so I would say this is generally on my lines and Vale's document. But Holiday, how do you feel about your military date going back to
Really
one
well?
of your apartments?
Well, that's fine. He can dislocate one of my hips. That's fine.
Okay, so we'll just hand wave that happens. Because that's what 27 successes will get you.
Well, 9 successes.
Or 9 I'm sorry, yeah, rolling 9 successes, that's what that will get you.
Rolling a 27.
Oh, I'm sorry, a 27 is 7 successes.
Either way.
Oh, only 7.
Only
Jeez.
7.
Yeah.
Look, I had to extend the crit range on this game because there's something that must be the opposite of the evil eye effect that happens on Twitch TTRPGs. The players want you to win at these rolls, so you do, and you win so hard. And okay. Anyway, so yeah, the basically you end up at your military buddies. Let me check what you wrote his name.
Rothstein.
Yeah.
Captain Rothstein.
So you end up with the captain in his apartment. And you're talking about it, and then, you know, post pillow talk, there is he basically like just brings out a tablet and is like, so what were your questions about the military presence there, or also so there's the military, which is on loan, so to speak, from the core, and then there is their internal Limos law enforcement. They're technically two separate groups, but they do work together a lot. So
Just send me all the information you have on them, and then I'll have him, if any of my contacts are in his database, have him contact them, because it'll be easier for him to get across the role with me, because he's still actively in the military, as far as I know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm still not really sure what he's doing in Eden's system, because there isn't officially an Imperial protector.
He's running an intelligence gathering operation for Task Force Valkyrie, officially.
Oh, interesting.
That's what he's officially doing. What he's actually doing is hiding out from the rest of his 3 ex-wives.
I mean, it happens. It's legal, but it still happens. Like,
I remember that in Babylon 5. I mean,
oh, is he Captain Sheridan? Maybe Captain Sheridan would totally work for Task Force Valkyrie. Sorry, because he's a huge conspiracy theory nerd. Anyway, focus. My game. All right. So, the basics you get from this is that, yeah, like the thing about military and law enforcement being separate, but they work together a lot. There really is just that listening post, but of course they have, you know, barracks on Logoi. There's also maybe a few military and law enforcement on Dysnomia at the shipyard. But it's not a big presence. Like, you can tell that they don't actually think and you can tell from military friends, like, no, they're not. Dysnomia is not being used to stage a revolution. Yeah. People are just trying to survive there.
Yeah. I'm also looking for upcoming schedules. Any big ships coming in for a repair refit at the shipyard. Any official ceremonies that might be going on. You know, things that might suddenly draw red flags in the sky. Like a naval group dropping it out of nowhere for the festivities.
Not so far. He has heard of that happening in other systems that want to join the core and crack down on the local scapegoats, but that hasn't happened here.
Okay, keep me in the loop if that happens.
Yeah. Other things you'll pick up from your freaking 27 successes. They would know, because Paragon does a lot of work with the military, that Paragon and are basically fighting over, well, it seems like he knows more about, or the military friends know more about the Paragon side, and are kind of rooting for Paragon because they kind of just are. Like, it's like, wow, like, keeps taking up all these resources in the system, and all this industry, and all these manufacturing plants, and all this labor force, and, like, you know, Paragon just can't catch a break, and it would be so much better if Paragon were to take over the shipyard, and not when they finally privatize it from the government. So that seems to be a thing that's going on. Is 2 megacorps want something, and there is contention. According to news reports, you know, no one really ever talks about them in competition.
Well, of course, because they operate in different sectors.
But yeah, you definitely get a sense that these are two megacorps working out of the system, and constantly, there's constant contention over who is running this industry for what ends to make what stuff. And before we go on break, I'll go think of any more questions you have, because freaking successes. We can get to that later.
Is there a Task Force Valkyrie operation in that system?
Not yet that they are aware of.
Okay.
But Task Force Valkyrie doesn't exactly...
They don't file paperwork.
Yeah.
That's why he's still in the system and no one's caught on to him yet.
They're, Task Force Valkyrie is more like, what is it in Star Trek? Section 37?
31.
Section 31? Or the Obsidian Order? Or like, they're like...
Or the Tal Shiar.
Or the Tal Shiar, yeah, it's... They're very, very scary.
Or if you're more into Halo, they're Oni. Office of Naval Intelligence.
They're hush-hush boys. What you get from your more moderate 4 successes with your black market buddy, you meet for a drink. But after a while, he kind of takes you off into the back room, and you think it's like, oh, okay. But it's more like, look, there used to be a lot more business in that system before they started going all pro-protectorate, join the core bullshit. Now it seems like any kind of contraband or smuggling you want done, you have to go through the Archimedes Syndicate.
They sound like it's a lie.
They are not.
Okay.
They are very much once you're in, you only leave feet first. They are... I mean, they're not anti-Supernat, but it seems like they have enough people that most of them in the system are just human, so it seems like they're already hedging their bets. Like, I'm people what knows people, and yeah. They also don't seem to be helping any of the Supernats, but I mean, I'm not sure I'd know.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like Karve has done dealings with Archimedes before.
You've run into them when you went to rescue that possessed girl on Strognoy Station, and Klaus accidentally dealt some drugs in a club where the other drug dealer was like, excuse me, who the fuck are you? And kind of annoyed the Archimedes. They are not nice gangsters.
Oh, did I get a name for who the local contact, if I were wanting to make contact with the Archimedes Syndicate, is?
Let me see if I wrote that name down.
To be
if
fair,
not, that's fine.
We'll see. I'll look during break.
Yeah. Fortunately, we didn't piss them off in system, but like
he can find you one because, the Archimedes Syndicate will work with people.
Yeah.
But if you do too well, you will join them, and you might not get a choice.
Yeah.
They are very hardcore. They've been around for at least a couple centuries. They did kind of fall apart during the Silent War, because that can be very make or break for black market entities. But they seem to have started building themselves back up again recently.
Okay.
They are very bad news.
That's all I got for questions right now.
Okay. Okay. Alright, so the alarm has gone. Actually, because you weren't really asking that. Okay, so the alarm just went off for break. So, Sungrazer and Dune, think about your questions, and Petruchio, keep thinking about your, I'm gonna talk to my elite friends and build some IDs, because you're good at that. But, you might want to maybe take in some more of the peripheral information first. But yeah, if you want to make false IDs for everyone, you can definitely do that. It might just take, an extended task and stuff. So, oh, Holiday, what you do get from your military friend is that what the military outpost is doing in incoming ships is scanning them.
With what?
probably with a wave based. It's non-invasive, but they can tell if there is contraband on board. Also, possibly Supernats. He's a little hazy on that because there are a lot of companies claiming that they have Supernat scanners that may or may not work. It's kind of hard to trace that.
Okay.
I have one question for the GM before we sign off. Combat plugins, are they also illegal? Because Dune has a lot of them.
Define a plugin solely for combat, though.
I'll just get you a permit for it.
Those are a bit hazier, but also I believe part of having the plugin merit is that they are more difficult. The more merit points you have in it, the more difficult they are to trace or scan for.
Fair. So yeah, Dunes are definitely not obvious.
Yeah.
I'll get you a permit for it just in case.
Also, like, everyone's got plugins. So it's like, well, how can you tell a military one from just a bionic arm without actively, like, putting you in the equivalent of a CT machine? Okay.
Yeah, no, please do not put Dune in a MRI. That would be bad. That would hurt, like, a lot.
Okay. So chat, this is where we take a 10-minute break. Everyone keep thinking about the things you want to ask and the things you want to source, whether it is information or resources or equipment or paperwork. We will see if we get to everyone's... Yeah, the stream's volume is a little... Is it really low? Okay. Then I don't know what I'm doing wrong. As have Dune fight in a giant MRI? Well, we'll see.
Oh, come on. They're plugins, okay? It's wired into my brain. I would like for not to be pulled out by the roots.
Yeah, at this point, they have imaging equipment that doesn't pull metal out of humans.
Yeah, that,
So...
you know, that's... For the number of people who have plugins, you know, please retire your MRI machines.
Okay, I have desktop audio all the way up. So... Yeah, sorry guys, we're not doing as great on my sound mixer. I will check on all of my sound mixers during the break. Ah. No, stop making annoying noises. Alright, so chat, we are taking our 10-minute break, and we will be back in a sec. Woohoo, break. Hello chat, we are back from break, and I figured out my desktop is trying to ruin our audio. Not OBS. Oh, it did it again. There we go. I'm just gonna keep this window open.
Oops, I did it again. I played with your sound. Got in my game. Oh, baby.
Mute me, baby, one more time.
Fadir's like, I can hear! Yes.
Fadir's next message, I regret hearing!
I'm watching you, Mixer. Don't you fuck with me again. Okay. I wouldn't take this from the LARPers, I will not take it from you. Excellent. Okay, so I found, so yes, your friend found, getting to what I said I would do with break. Holiday, your black market friend, says that they found a contact for the Archimedes Syndicate, someone named Sarah, who runs a pawn shop / fence in a district called Ponios.
Yep.
So, I can give you the address. Their warning is to be careful with them, because if they like you too much, that's also bad.
I can manage to not be likable.
Perhaps
Can
Mixer
you?
in... What are you saying, Arcane the Stage? Oh,
Perhaps
GM
Mixer
+1,
said
thank you!
Do a musical session.
Musical session which no one will be able to hear because it keeps putting the mixer down? What? Player +1? Good job, Puka. Okay.
Try for balance.
Y'all have 3 player +1s now.
I might want to use one of those for context because I have shit social scores. So
Or more than one.
Okay, so yeah, there used to be a more varied, healthy black market, diversified black market in Limos' system, but not anymore. And they also have said that a lot of people have just fucking disappeared. His
Okay.
own black market contacts in the system are, and it just lowered itself again. Why? Pardon me while I fight with my computer.
is it maybe so when you said that the track changed with Pretzel Rocks, is Pretzel Rocks maybe resetting it?
Maybe? I'll have to keep an eye on it. That did coincide a bit, so we'll see. So we've got 3 or 4 minutes until the next time I have to change it. Anyway.
Quick, everyone roleplay as fast as you can.
Roleplay like the wind. But yeah, so they give you a contact. But yeah, like, so you now have also had news. Through your black market contact, not the what the fuckery military contact role. Because like part of why the black market is less diversified now is just because people are disappearing.
Okay.
Buyers, sellers, known criminals. I mean, it's a very popular system for stealing weapons because it's not exactly a Paragon company town, but they have a lot of shit there. And there's definitely ways to scratch off the serial number, so to speak. Because all of these weapons are traceable through varying methods. Those can be spoofed if you know how. And yeah. So, okay, so moving on. Dune! You wanted to talk to some wolfy wolves.
Indeed.
In the Bari Bar.
To the spaceport, yes. So, not the local cousins, but the ones who come through on the ships. I was hoping to find someone who had been through the system recently, the Limo system, or knew someone who had.
Okay, so for you, is this also a contacts role?
So this would be allies, probably werewolves, because I don't think wolf doesn't move as much.
Okay, so let me check and see how the allies merit works again.
Because I don't have any contacts merits.
Get plus dots when rolling socials against someone in the allies. Not.
You could probably get one of your allies with context dots to tell you.
That
Nice.
looks like it would be more how that works. Because contacts is more about shaking this tree for information. Allies is about you have to do a thing for me.
Yeah.
But let me double check the stats. But that said, I would say, so let me look at your sheet again.
So there are 2 packs in the city. There's Anti-Batman's pack, and then there's the Ninja Turtles pack, right?
Basically.
And the Ninja Turtles pack are just a bunch of stoners, right?
You know, you haven't had much contact with them because you're generally above ground. All you know is that they patrol the sewers. They're not necessarily stoners, but they are definitely younger than the members in the Batpack.
Okay.
So more like they got some younger cubs, and they're like, okay, you guys can patrol the sewers because you're younger. They're still Spire. They're still Lodge of Spires, but they do their parkour underground instead of above ground.
Fair. But neither one of them would have much dealings with werewolves in the spaceport. They have other things in their mind.
I mean, they could. I mean, you can definitely ask any of the werewolves you know, and you know all of them in the city, which, you know, isn't a lot, but you do know them.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can ask Anti-Batman, if she can point you towards someone you can talk to.
About Limos and who's been to Limos more recently than all the information we're getting, which is like, a month or whatever out of date, or specifically misleading because it's on the web and they don't want people to know about their super secret systems or whatever. I want someone with first-hand experience.
Yeah. Also, there are times when like something bigger than the local packs can handle happens, and then they do need to go to the spaceport and ask for help, or to the merchant marine, for the space wolves.
Yeah, but
So
I think Wolfbloods might be a better role here because they're the bartenders.
Yeah, you could also go that way.
Yeah, they'd know. So let's roll out as Wolfbloods then, and that's manipulation, persuasion.
I would say that plus so it's manipulation plus persuasion plus your allies' dots for that category.
Okay.
It's not exactly, but it is, it's less about getting the wolf blood friend to do the thing, and more getting them to get a local wolf, a visiting wolf to open up enough that they're like, oh, this is what Dune was looking for.
Yeah. Specifically, someone with local, preferably less than month-old knowledge of the Limos system.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 17.
Awesome. So that's
very respectable.
Because my manipulation is not very good, but I know a lot of Wolfbloods.
Yep. Urudakus. All right. So yeah, that's pretty good. So it's like I said, this is taking place over the span of the week. So after a couple days, one of your many wolf-blooded mafia friends. Wolf-bloods are the nice mafia in this game, at least in system.
The friendly one, anyway.
The friendly ones. So yeah, they're like, hey, I've got a spacer here, or is it? Oh, is it? They're local. I've got a spacer here, and they've got I think they've got information that you can use. It sounds like they've come out of Limos, and it looks like they're looking to make friends here, along the lines of helping Limos. So, if the word on the wind is correct, I think you might have some of those resources they can use, one way or another.
I very well might. Thank you very much for the information, and I will start heading towards the bar that they gave me the name of or whatever.
Yep. We will say it is a bar called Sleipnir. Which you have heard of before, and
I heard that as Slutnir.
Sleipnir.
I also did. I too heard that.
What did the volume went down again? Okay.
I was going to ask because the track changed. I was going to ask.
Yep, then that's probably what's happening. Okay.
Oh, good. Nobody heard me say that then.
So there's a bar called Sleipnir. It is an interesting bar because it is in Steel. It's kind of on the border of Steel Town and Old Town, so it's sort of between the two spaceports. And while they don't discriminate against able-bodied people, they do seem to specialize in entertainment for people who are disabled. But it's not like, you can't get in unless you flash your fake arm at the door. But
yeah,
they are known for having, very, dance competitions for people who have mobility challenges and stuff like that. And not everyone who has a disability gets it magically or technologically altered or fixed, because they're not broken.
Yeah. So I'll head over there. Dune is still one of the tallest people in the room because Dune is always one of the tallest people in the room.
Yeah. And your friend is
my new friend. Or is it the wolf boy pointing him out?
Yeah, your one of your wolf blood buddies is at the bar, and he kind of points out the table, and it's so it's kind of like there's a dance floor, there's a bar. It's a bit less gritty divey and more kind of fun EBM music and lights and things. But there is kind of one side that's well, basically the bar side where there's like tables and some snacks, and it's a bit easier to talk to people. And yeah, he sends you towards this uh, non-binary person who clearly not only a werewolf, clearly showing off their attributes, but also that some of their attributes are mechanical and kind of awesome looking in a very fun cyberpunk way.
And you said they are a werewolf?
This is the out of town werewolf, and
Okay.
Okay, the Zoom volume just went down again, but oh yeah, and the track changed, so that's what's happening. Sorry, chat. You know what? I'm not sure if I can, because I can turn it. I'm just gonna have to turn off the music because this is annoying. Oh well. I never said I was good at streaming. Okay, good night, Pretzel Rocks. Okay. Back to business. I keep trying the new fun Twitch things and being like other streams, and it just doesn't work. Anyway, so you're at a techno club approaching a big burly werewolf, you assume. Well, you can sort of tell by the tattoos, you recognize some tribal stuff, and you know.
I can smell it too.
Oh wow, you're really loud now. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's me because I messed everything around, trying to be able to hear everyone. Okay. Anywho. Oh, or I could just turn down my personal volume.
I mean, if you're in a club, you have to be louder,
Yeah.
right?
Hey,
Shout over the music.
Yeah. So yeah, there's just this this werewolf, and they're just you get a sense that they came here with a couple of their shipmates who may or may not be wolves, but they're all they look kind of tired and are just sort of trying to chill out,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in a nice loud club, because that's how some people chill out. And you know, they're people watching, they're talking, they're drinking, they're just, you know, kind of chilling.
I'll come up to the table. What time of day is it?
We'll say it's early evening. That's not exactly club time on normal Earth, but this is space, and you know,
Clubs are 24 hour, you know.
Yeah.
Whenever you land, that's when it's club time, you know.
Yep.
Especially around spaceport. I mean, the ones in the city are more diurnal, nocturnal, kind of, you know. But around spaceports, whenever you land, it's club time.
Yep. Pretty much.
So, good evening. I believe I am. You may call me Dune. I am with a local agency, Karve Tourism. I pull out a card, and I hold it out to the werewolf.
Yeah, they're like.
We specialize in vacation packages that I heard you may be interested in. And, moreover, I've heard that you may have you may have recently come from a system that I am interested in. The Limos. Not what else was. I was about to say lemon.
The title of this was almost When Life Gives You Limos, but yeah.
From the Limos system, most recently.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, we've been in Limos. It's pretty fucked up out there.
So I've heard the most recent news out of the system about the new rules and what have you, but I've also heard that they are doing scanning of the ships going in and out, and I was hoping you could tell me more, perhaps.
Yeah, that was pretty freaky, because like we've been doing business there a while. To be honest, they usually scan ships. Like that's normal for people going in and out of the system. So you have to find ways around it. If there's something on your ship they don't want you to see, but the rumor is that they're scanning for Supernats. So that was a little freaky, but you know, I guess things could change the next time we go out there, but it was just like, you know, okay, stand by for scan, and then they gave us our birth number on dysnomia, and, you know, so I guess they want to keep track of, I mean, if they're scanning for supernats, I guess they just want to, like, keep track of how many are coming in or going out. Like,
So we
it's
don't-
pretty creepy, but, you know, expanse government bullshit is kind of getting more and more standard.
Fair. Well, core bullshit. But yes, I take your meaning very much. I don't see it coming to Eden anytime soon, or at least not very popularly. But so you're saying you don't know if they were scanning for supernats or not, just as they scanned you, correct?
Yeah, that's all they said. I mean, the rumors are scanning for supernats.
Do you only service expanse planets, or have you gone to the core world as well?
Oh, we don't go to the core. Well, you know, Urum Datakis and that bullshit. I'm a werewolf. I don't go to the core.
Fair. I didn't know whether or not you were one of those who put perhaps profit over such things as light illegalities.
It's not a light illegality. It's a death sentence. You go to the core. I've met wolves like, oh, I'm gonna be the first to go to the core and come back since the anti-Supernat law, and they don't come back. So
Fair.
I'm you know, I like profit, but I'm not stupid.
I was just wondering if
Well,
they had similar sort of scanners there.
I believe
I don't know of any other system who scans going in and out of the gate.
No, a lot of expanse systems do. It's generally they're looking for contraband, but there's a lot of. I mean, I've also heard that there's a lot more Supernat detectors on their main city planet now. And I mean, there's a lot of rumors that technology is on the increase and being further developed, and it just really sucks.
Fair. Is it particularly granular, or does it catch everything?
I honestly don't know. They just said stand by for scan. It took longer than it usually does. But then they're like, all right, here's your parking spot on Dysnomia. Go to this number at this location.
Fair. And your business there, were you yourself accosted in any way?
Nah, I mean, they've got cops there, and there's like a couple of core soldiers, but they're not really messing with it. They really just stick to the spaceport. There's like all the habitation domes, and now there's some farming domes we're trying to build up. So we were just running some building materials from another system to there, because there were people on Dysnomia. Like,
Dysnomia is the moon?
Dysnomia is Mars.
Mars.
Is
Okay.
the colony planet that I mistakenly said was a moon. It might be a
Okay.
moon of another planet, but it's, you know,
So Dysnomia is okay. Yeah. Sorry.
it's the other place where the other people go when they're being.
It's not the
othered.
main planet, which is where all this stuff is. Okay.
Yeah, Lagoi is the main planet.
All right. Well, if you find yourself in need of some quick immigration packages, my card is there, and you can reach us at any time. We have an intern, all hours of the day and night.
Immigration packages, you say?
Immigration.
Yeah, like emigration to Limos or out of it?
We specialize in providing long tours of Verge and friendly expanse worlds from places perhaps that are not as not beneficial. What's the word? Friendly, I guess. Sorry. Out of character. Can't think of the word. So they're perhaps not as kosher.
Yeah, this guy doesn't understand what you're getting at all. He's like, so people from the shithole that is Dysnomia can take vacations on the Verge. I don't.
I lean
get
over.
it.
I lean over and make
I
sure that
don't.
nobody else around can hear. And it's like, Urum de Takas. We get people the hell out of places where they don't want to be, and we don't necessarily provide return tickets.
Okay, that's better. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. Huh. Okay. Yeah, we're mostly just, we've been just running, I mean, the Supernats on Dysnomia, it's not all Supernats, because, I mean, they've had the spaceport there, like, forever, but it's, you know, it's not doing a whole ton of business, but we've been running a lot of materials and shit, from other systems, so people on Dysnomia are definitely trying to build out, so it looks like they're planning to stay there a while, like, best of luck, I don't know if that's a good idea.
They tried something similar in the system that starts with an S the priest came from.
Sandon?
Sandon, sorry. Yes. I want to say Saharan, but that's not the right one. Sorry.
Blutnir? Perhaps?
Sletnir. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, it seems like they want to be settled in, but, like, the people living there are pulling in every last favor they have to try and build out shit. And, like, start hydroponic farming and shit like that.
We shall see. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, cool.
We'll stand up and walk out, and then the next day, if there's a next day that I have time, I would like to go and visit the Mercenaries Guild, and I'm gonna go over to the weapons table where people are comparing weapons and stuff because I want to pick up some specialized weapons, and these are the people who would know where to get them.
Okay, let me look at your stats. Oh wait, did you buy stuff with XP, and am I looking at an out-of-date sheet?
I have not bought stuff with EXP, not items anyway.
Okay. So... Okay.
It's mainly technology stuff. If I was looking for, like, talismans or whatever, I would go to Anti-Batman.
Alright, so... I'm on the wrong part of my notes.
Excuse me.
Okay, so... yeah, you can go to the Merc Union. The Union Generals hangout and office. They also work 24/7.
Yep. Mainly looking to pick up a vibroblade because if they're going to ban knives longer than 4 inches, I'm going to want one that goes through armor.
Okay, are those in the mechanics weapons,
Yes.
or is that... Okay.
Yeah.
Let me...
I thought about asking for a light sword too, but that's kind of expensive, I believe. No, it's in the tech level.
So you're getting a blade that is longer than 4 inches? Or
No,
no? Okay.
No. It's going to be like, you know, a 3 and 3/4 inch blade, but it's going to be a vibroblade.
Okay, let me look up those stats. High vibration blade. Size 1. Availability 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I'll say that they can hook you up with one of those. It's availability 2. That's not so bad.
Yeah. The light sword would be a bit much, but besides, I don't fight with swords, I fight with knives when I have to fight close in.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, so a little bit of extra oomph.
Yep. Basically.
Okay.
And that's me taking care of, basically.
Okay. Sungrazer, are you doing anything to investigate this prospective trip?
I'm gonna talk to some smugglers.
Okay.
Preferably not Archimedes ones, but they might be the only ones, you know, who know what's up.
Okay. Alright, then you also give me, what do we say?
I'm gonna need to spend a couple +1s for this roll, I think.
That's fair. That's what they're there for.
Yeah.
So
My lack of skill in either abilities cancels out the 1 dot of manipulation I have, so.
okay, so you have
yeah.
contacts of 3. And doke.
Can I do 2 +1s on this?
I'll allow it, so as long as you're declaring it before you roll.
Yeah, I mean, I'll spend all week, you know, leveraging.
Okay. So
10. Excellent. So 18. 4 successes.
okay.
I don't know if there's like a smuggler bar in a wretched hive of scum and villainy.
There's Hell. I think, is it Hell?
Hell's the one with the 11 o'clock bar fight.
11
Oh,
a.m.
with
and
1 L.
11 p.m. and 11 a.m. because
Yep.
24/7 spacer bar.
Yep, 24/7 spacer bar.
I'll go at 7:30. I don't want to get involved in any bar fights.
Oh, fine. And who should you see there? But lol, oh hi, it's your beast, a beast changeling friend. Because well, that all got erased from our VOD last week. So fuck it, I'm doing it again.
No.
Oh hi, it's your beast friend who runs that pawn shop slash fence here in Eden, and only speaks in lolcat because changelings have issues.
Some hi, lol.
Oh hi, weekend has beer.
Weekend has. What you doing here?
Icon has beer. I has a money. Woohoo!
Yay, money. More beers.
More beers. 5 more beers.
Woohoo! I has questions.
Ooh. I might has answers.
I'm gonna have to do this not in lolcat because I need to like formulate this.
That's fine.
Basically, I mean, what I want to find out.
He can understand you. It's just that he speaks in lolcat.
I'm out of practice with lolcat. So the 2 things in particular that are being asked about. So I guess, I mean, we already know about the scanners, but just in general, if anyone has been doing smuggling out of Limos, what difficulties have they encountered besides that? And then second, is there anyone currently looking to get out as soon as possible?
All right, you got 4 successes. So I has friends. Well, Icon has friends on Dysnomia. No can has friends on Limos no more. Dysnomia friends say Icon has ship out of system, and I say okays. Okays, do you has a money? And yes, we do business. There are Supernat friends who just no can has Limos. Go find other system. I has a money. Goodbye.
Limos denied.
Limos denied. Other Limos people. So Limos Ken has lots of guns. Like lots of guns. So much guns. Wow.
Starting to code switch into Doge. So gun.
So
much
gun.
wow.
Much wow. But Noken has Limos guns now. Someone's stealing, no one shipping.
Okay.
So to translate, they're still hearing word of people stealing guns, but no one's selling them out of the system.
Yeah.
Lately,
yeah.
So maybe security too much. Security denies smugglers. Makes sense. Security is military. Oof, no can has.
So just heightened security in general is
maybe, unless there is someone on Limos has a money, then why ship?
Is there anywhere in particular, so with people that want to leave the system, is there anywhere in particular to go clandestinely meet up with them to make it known that there is someone available who can get them out of the system?
Well, if Noken has, if do not want Stygian Gate is month trip to next system and their Stygian Gate, and that be rough. Abyss eat your brain, your spicy brain.
It's true.
So, I mean, Supernats leaving Limos, leave through Stygian Gate. We do see it. Weekend has.
No
we'll
has
see
problem?
Again. No has problem yet. May has problem later.
Mm.
Ken had problem in Sandon. Was very bad. Sandon denied. Sandon denied. Oof.
Any Supernat more in trouble than other Supernat has? Because I imagine the more obvious ones are more, targeted.
They outlaw magics, so if you has magics, they catch you, maybe? If not, then maybe they is safe. They can has quiet. There is lots of hiding places on Logoi. So much hiding, so much basement cat. So much. Miles and miles, half a mile, maybe quarter mile of basement cat.
But
Whole planet.
Hide and know is fun. Hide and know is fun. Friend won't be ceiling cat, not basement cat.
Depends on friend. Ceiling cat is total assholes on Logoi.
True.
They live in shiny spire place. No can share with rest of planet. Is sucksores.
Well, if you have friends want out of system.
Okays.
Wink.
Help, need out of system.
Help.
I'll buy them a cup of goblin schnapps. You can have schnapps.
I can have schnapps. Woot. Okay, thanks. Okay, thanks, bye. So, yeah.
All of this has been noted in my notes.
Okay. I'm trying to keep track of what I have told you and what I haven't. Oh, but he also will double that, yes, all business now is Archimedes. Archimedes or nothing. Do not like Archimedes. No like Archimedes. Archimedes denied.
Archimedes' alternative is Karve, perhaps.
Archimedes is big deal. Archimedes is very scary. Do not want an Eden system. Oof.
No can has.
No cat has Eden. But yes. Lots of hiding place in Logoi. Maybe is more Supernats with Basement Cat. Eating their soul.
Om nom nom.
Om nom nom. So that was a purchased NPC.
No, really, I hadn't guessed, especially considering your propensity for speaking in lolcats normally.
I'm also a bit rusty on lolcat. Anyway. So yeah, so just to TLDR, so yeah, people are still stealing weapons because there's a lot of them, but they're not selling them out of system, which is weird. There is a lot of places to hide on Logoi the planet. Although they did not super get into detail, but Basement Cat would indicate that maybe it's a sewer system.
I mean, it doesn't add up to anything good, because if there's lots of weapons being bought and not taken out of the system, that would imply that there's going to be a very large violent conflict in the near future.
Possibly.
So
But if it is a super system, well, I don't know if it's a sewer system, but if you tell Dune, he might be able to hook you up with the sewer werewolves.
Well, yeah, but they know this sewer.
Fair, but they're also familiar with sewers in general, like the access points and stuff.
That can vary wildly from system to system, especially in the Expanse where you've had 2,000 years of development. But, yeah, you could try that.
if there's time aside from that and this week of stuff, I also want at some point to go get some spare parts for building devicey things, because I have an idea, but I'm not going to worry about it this time.
Okay.
Whatever handy market is in the vicinity. / goblin market, maybe, but
so that's getting into... That might be getting into the materials system?
yeah. I'm gonna have to actually look into that before commit.
So-
I just want to block out some time to
So, well, what do you want to... Is it like, I want pieces of weapons so they can't scan for weapons and find them, and then we can make weapons later? Like, there's that, there's other stuff. Like, what are you looking to make out of gizmos?
I'm still formulating the list in my head.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, you're a pro smuggler. You can find stuff. Are you in a union?
Probably not.
Okay.
Yeah. Freelancing.
Yeah, that still happens.
Even the court, the Eclipse court is like, oh, you're in our court. And it's like,
I guess.
sure.
Okay. Be
They
creepy.
just came
Do you
up.
have any other plans
They
for
came
today?
up to me with a clipboard. I said, sure, put my name. And then I never thought about it again. And now every 6 months I get a little mailer, and it's just like,
Here's a form that we signed that we will never ask your personal information because we are creepy and spooky and don't give that shit out. Would you
Right,
like to join the
precisely.
Eclipse Court? They're basically the Autumn Court.
Yeah.
Arcane the Sage. Dune's knowing sewer werewolves clearly shows that they have underworld connections.
Yep.
Totally.
Alright. So Patricio, what have you thought up about making individual or a group ID? Actually, roll me. So elites on your sheet fall under contacts or allies?
Allies, I'm afraid.
Okay. So I would say make the same roll as a contacts roll, but basically you will be asking your elite, or what roll did you make, Dune? What did I make you do? I forget now. It was 5 minutes ago, and I've already forgotten.
Oh, it was
Manipulation plus persuasion.
it was
plus the dots I had in the relevant allies category.
Okay, so all right, so Patricio, roll manipulation plus persuasion, plus your allies dots, because you'll be basically talking one of your family members into are any of us in Limos, and can I talk to them and ask them what the fuck is going on?
Sure.
So you can do that.
And maybe can you back me up if I come up with a decent cover that needs elite contacts? Oh.
Or do you just want to do that, or do you want to milk them for information first?
Let's milk them for information first.
Okay.
So sure, let's do it straight with that. So that's gonna be a 10 plus a 19.
Yep.
Should be 4 successes.
Okay, well, so you probably end up talking to, your cousin on planet, among other relatives. And they do put you in contact with an aunt, you think. Aunt, cousin, it's your family's complicated. Who currently lives on currently lives in Limos, does not know your Supernat status because they are definitely pro-expansion and anti-Supernat, like so many people who run your family currently.
Yep.
But you're pretty sure they're there, so... Yeah, you're pretty sure they like it there because... And they're probably one of the people polled for, yes, get the Supernats out, they suck. Some of them, literally. How dare. So it's like...
Not wrong, but
what is your character's first name with their family? I forget.
Blaine.
Blaine? Blaine, darling, it's so nice to hear from you. Are you having fun on your little Eden farm and that strange little farming planet left the last one in the expanse?
Oh, it has its charms. It is very exciting. Sometimes maybe a little too exciting, but I don't think I'm ready to go home yet. I hear the Limos has its own excitement, or possibility.
Well, there's a lot of exciting things going on. The Core's expansionist policies have taken root here and are just flourishing, darling. It's so wonderful.
How marvelous.
I just got a brand new Supernat detector, and I assume it works fine. It's fantastic. It's got a subtle little light on it and a silent alarm in case one is invisible, darling.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes.
Are you sure? No. But you don't know whether it works. Can you send me some schematics of that? Maybe I can figure out, make sure there aren't any holes in it.
Oh, of course, darling. That would be so helpful.
That'd be lovely.
Oh, well, this is just the standard, which one is this? This is, let me look. It's not a Paragon one. I know most people have Paragon ones, but I wanted to do a step up. What was that other company?
Corporation?
No, doesn't make them.
Oh,
well, that's interesting.
Why am I forgetting the name of the main corp we've been dealing with?
Oh God, it's
Chiron.
Chiron, yes, Chiron.
I swear I know how to run my own game. Oh, this is a Chiron model, but they do have the best. I mean, the Paragon ones are all right. Well, also, the Paragon ones that are more preferable are generally the ones that explode when they detect supernatural.
Oh, that's kind of one use only.
And apparently, it can detect which kind and then explode. There are different ones that if they detect that specific kind of supernat, they explode into something that'll kill them faster. It's fantastic. But that's Paragon. But I don't want all that cleanup. I just sort of want to know, and then my security can, defend me.
Oh, quite understandable.
Oh, I've got a new security synth. They're adorable. They do everything I say. Fantastic. Really? But yes, I'll send you the schematics. I mean, I'm sure you could find this on the internet, but I could just send them to you directly. I mean, that's what we do. I mean, that's why I'm here. Not for Chiron, but I mean, and Paragon have been fighting over this place for centuries.
So I'd heard. I mean, this whole expansionist push that isn't part of their fight, is it? It's not going to go away once they make peace.
Well, to be honest, it's a little unclear whether they're pro-expansion or anti-expansion. I mean, they're not pro-Supernat, so I would hope that they have the good sense not to be, and it's not just a PR move or some bullshit, we're being politically neutral, because that's not real. You're either with us or against us, or the human race, darling. Well, Paragon is all about the weapons and the militia and privatizing everyone's military into their own subsidiaries and selling everyone all the weapons and having a monopoly on that front. Sometimes for building military ships or security, peacekeeping ships and such. Oh yes, they're both fighting over the spaceport on that piece of crap other planet with the colony on it. Hopefully the Supernats don't take it over first. But
Well, that would be
oh well, Consolidated is they're all about like terraforming and colonizing, and so they want to take over the spaceport to build colony ships. You know, the sort that you fly over and then deconstruct and use as infrastructure and that stuff. Which I mean, there's plenty of profit in it, and they do
I guess.
they are the best when it comes to terraforming. But I have no interest in going out to the Verge, but you know, that's where a lot of money is going. So they have a lot of things to build that are not weapons. They also they are so about mining resources wherever they can find them and selling them off to the other companies to build things. So they do a lot of surveying technology as well. So I think they more want us to be their platform between the Core and the Verge.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, both companies are fighting over the spaceport right now, and I'm just sort of watching it and playing the market in the wake, like
course.
you do.
Got to make your bets.
Always hedge your bets.
But this whole PR thing, I mean, it can't be happening completely organically. Things never do.
Well, I mean,
People don't do the right.
Supernats are such a stupidly small minority. I mean, humans buy more shit, so they must be pro expansion because then they'll sell more product. But I mean, I'm sure any company thinks, well, if an asset is useful, then maybe it's worth dealing with them. But they're not doing it officially. Although there has been a lot of there's that those human first people who are, I mean, yes, pro humanity, but just very crazy about it.
Yes, we've had
they also in this system they have a very strong anti-synth thing going on because they think the synths are taking their jobs when it's like, no, the companies can't get the tax breaks unless they provide jobs for the poors in this system. So, but they just hate everyone. It's like, don't hate the synths. They were made to serve us and they're good at their jobs. And it's very easy to take one down when it goes rogue.
And do you have a device for that too, then?
Oh, of course, dear. Those are standard now. But yeah, so that's very annoying. Humanity First is very anti-synth, and I just think that's just cruel. They're just nice people who are tools. Let them do their jobs. They're not hurting anyone.
Excuse me.
But yeah, so it's delightfully entertaining to watch these corporate bodies just duke it out in the government and PR and so much fun to watch, honestly.
I look forward to hearing how things come out. I'm sure the right side will win, whatever that side that is.
Well, I mean, whichever side we profit by the most.
Quite.
But I'm just here to watch the market and send clues to the head of our family so they know what shares to buy and sell. I'm just here for a bit of insider trading, but it is so much fun to watch.
Hashtag Vontrue life.
Hashtag rich bitch.
Yeah. It's not like the Vontrue's not doing the same thing. I mean, probably not doing it there, but like accusing a Vontrue of insider trading is like accusing a human of breathing. Just, they're doing it.
It depends on the Vontrue. Because even the Vontrue would have people for that. Also because, well, I mean, yeah, in space, I think Vontrue would more likely do it themselves or delegate it to a subordinate. Modern Knights, Vontrue might not even know what the stock market is.
Fair.
And be like, Minion, you do this. I want more money.
Minion, go do my dark bidding on the stock market.
I am bidding on a table. Leave me to my dark bidding.
Dark bidding.
What are you bidding on? I'm bidding on a table.
This is one 7th generation venture who's bidding on eBay has a 13th generation venture who's actually doing the stock market manipulation. Because that's as far as he's gotten technologically.
Yeah. Well, in NWoD. This is NWoD. It's less about generation and more about, have you been awake too long? Do you need a dirt nap? Like a
Everybody-
literal dirt nap.
Well, if you can see me on some of that, I'm not playing the same game that Father is. I'll probably pay you back someday.
Ooh, I am intrigued, Blaine. Well, yes, keep in touch. Are you going to come visit? It's so much fun here.
I'll see what I can do.
I
I do have a very busy schedule here.
I have a lovely penthouse in one of the spires of Horkos, and it's just lovely. But, alright, darling, I'll talk to you later. Mwah, mwah. Kiss, kiss. And, so by this point, it's been a couple more days, and your nerd friends, your hacker buddies, have uncovered... So they figured out, so... At this point, you're basically keeping a list of, like, alive, question mark, question mark, question mark. You had 40 contacts within Limos. 20 are still completely unaccounted for.
Right.
Dead, captured, you have no idea. Dead, captured, pretend, violence in the streets by hate groups, like, it's unsure.
Maybe gone to ground so far you can't dig them out, but if so, we don't know.
Right.
Basement cat will know.
Basement cat. We worship the basement cat. So 10 have been found, but they fled to Dysnomia.
Right.
So they are 10 are sending up faint signals on Logoi. There is one in particular that you've relied on a lot as sort of a staging ground or a meeting place for clients before getting them out of the system, because it's pretty close to it's in Ponos, which is probably the poorest district on the planet. They have they flank a spaceport, and so it was pretty easy to meet people at that bar and then take them to the spaceport discreetly. It was run by a dude called Bert, but whoever is talking to you from this, it's a bar called Scylla. Again, because Greeks in space.
Is there another bar across the street called Charybdis?
Not
That'd be
anymore.
great. Oh,
They
Sadly.
turned it into a Starbucks.
which is kind of a pit into which all things are drawn.
It
so.
is kind of the Sarlacc, a coffee-flavored Sarlacc pit.
They paved paradise and put up a fucking Starbucks.
The bar called
They did.
Scylla is on Limos itself.
Yeah, it's on Logoi. It's in Ponos, which is the poor, wretched hive of scum and villainy district, basically. But your contact there, like, you're not... it doesn't sound like Bert. From what you remember of that guy. Like... And they're not... basically not naming them. They're just basically sitting on flags like, we're still here. And so it's a little weird. But the contacts, once you can track them down on Dysnomia, are a lot, it's a lot easier to talk to them. And they're just basically willing to answer any questions you have about what's happening on that planet. Because basically it's like, all the Supernats have fled to this planet, some to flee further out of the system, but others are like, no, this is our home, we're gonna stay here.
Yeah, that might be tricky if you can't get control of the spaceport.
Yeah. One thing I think they would mention is that, yeah, the Megacorps are being cordial because they want the spaceport, the spaceport, and basically the people on Dysnomia have effectively claimed a weird kind of squatters' rights law that's been on the books since the colony days that they just forgot to take off. But also no one wanted this piece of shit planet. So, So, like, the Megacorps are being surprisingly cordial and still willing to work with union members and other Supernats. So,
But it sounds like that's mostly based on them hoping they'll eventually get awarded the spaceport.
quite possibly, because union work is still down overall, and you've probably, like, you're a conservator, but yeah, they're like union work is down. What did I say? 40% because people just won't hire union members. Because you don't have to be a Supernat to join a union, but the unions are a way that Supernats can live and work in the Expanse, and people ain't respecting that. So people are openly discriminating against union members, and much as the union are trying to sue, they're not getting a lot of traction in the court system.
Right.
So a lot of people are just leaving because they can't find work.
Does there seem to be any higher danger class than the usual? Anyone's being explicitly hunted?
Honestly, no. Well, the thing is, like, it seems like they're more looking for, like, obvious tells and magic spells and stuff, but those assholes in Humanity First are sometimes just attacking everyone and saying they're Supernats. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're not. And it's all bullshit, and it sucks. And yeah, so people are dying in random street violence. People are just outright disappearing. By whose hand, we don't know. But there are definitely still people on this. So maybe about half the people on Dysnomia think we're safe here, and the other half are like, no, we need to get everyone out. So people will definitely be receptive to an evacuation, but there are still Supernats on Logoi, and I'm not sure why they haven't left yet.
Right. So just to be clear, is Logoi on Limos or is it a separate planet?
Limos is the system, so that's effectively the name of the star.
Got it.
Limos is the one Class M planet that they turned into a giant megacity.
Logoi.
Logoi. Thank you.
And we're Greeks in space.
Dysnomia.
No, man.
Dysnomia is a planet that is a bit I forget, is Mars closer or further away from the sun than us?
Further away.
Further
Chillier.
away. So yeah, it's like Mars is like one hop away from the orbit of Logoi. So it's like not as it's like almost Class M, but not quite, and it's kind of a piece of shit. And was, mined for everything it had centuries ago, yeah. Although the consolidated people are interested in doing new surveys based on new discoveries of new materials. So there's like a lot of abandoned mines and shit, and other abandoned domes that people are trying to refurbish and trying to build. So there's like, yeah, so half the people are trying to figure out how to evacuate everyone off planet, and the other half are trying to figure out how to build this into our own home. And there's contention over that as well.
Right. It sounds like the people who are in most immediate danger are actually the ones still on Logoi, and we don't even know why they're still there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they can't get off, obviously.
Maybe. Other people left, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's they don't scan ships that go from Logoi to Dysnomia. Only the ones that come out of the jump gate. Or if there's an investigation going on, sometimes they scan them going out of the jump gate. But that's not standard.
I have this sneaking suspicion that when we get there, we're somehow going to cause an investigation to happen.
Just a slight possibility.
It's like Shadowrun. Just make
probable.
your rolls and you'll be fine.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like profiling, bud.
Is it just in case one has to run and not through the jump gate? Is it a month if you're going at 50% of light speed, or is it a month if you're going at, say, 10% of light speed and faster if you're going faster?
No, I'd say it's a month at 50% light speed. Like
Okay.
it's there. We use the Stygian, like the Stygian gates are not comfortable to use. We use them for a reason. Because you do not want to be out in the abyss for a month, or deep space / abyss. Like that. Ooh.
So even the fastest ships will have big problems going manually.
Yeah.
Incidentally, among the other, in addition to the Vibroblade, Dune is also going to be picking up basically a bottle of moonshine, werewolf moonshine, from every bar he goes to, so he can get. He's taking that with him as part of his cargo space.
If eventually your wolf blood bartender allies think you're gonna throw a party or something, but they're like, all right.
Going through like 6 Stygian gates. No. No. There is no party here. Dune is not a fan of this Stygian gate nonsense bullshit.
I'm also going to do some experiments to see how you can fool the these detectors if you know they're coming. If say they're about, you know, they're going to say scan your ship.
Okay, I'm gonna need to work on that between games, but you can definitely start searching the dark web for that, basically.
Yeah.
Also going to be looking into that.
Okay. Downtime actions. Okay.
Yep, and I believe I will actually look up the sewer worlds to see what they have about sewers and the most likely places to access sewers and the best way to navigate sewers. So it'll be my downtime action. Literally and figuratively.
Okay. Hold on. Let me.
Especially
Copy
considering
this sheet.
next week I don't believe I'll be here.
Yeah, Petruchio, give me a roll of
In plus science, probably.
yeah, this could be more int plus science. I mean, but you can use your interdisciplinary focus on hacking because you are trying to hack these things.
Right.
Effectively.
So that'll get the base up to 9.
Just for a starting roll to set you up to just to analyze them before I figure out, oh, how would they hack them? Okay. Just initial observations, because it's not hard. Huh?
14.
14. 3 successes. So just at first glance, like you know, your auntie, cousin, whatever, sent you plans for her standard Chiron model, which are the top line and there's all this stuff all over the dark web. So much, especially the Idun system and the code monkeys are just like, we hate these things. You don't actually, it's harder to find plans for the ones that are supposedly just will detect a supernat outright. The ones that the biggest seller of Chiron is one that actually detects when magic happens. And they utilize a material called ephemerite, which is a very rare material to use, so these are very expensive machines. So that's just because that's the one that is sold the most, so that's the one most people try to hack. So you've got some good leads. There are others that claim to detect supernats without casting magic. But you still have to look more into those are more expensive and thus less available and harder to find, so fewer people have hacked them. And then there's the Paragon version that explodes, so you at least can find like a sales reel for that, where it's like, yeah, if a vampire walks into your room, it shoots wooden stakes at them. If a werewolf walks into the room, it shoots silver projectiles at them. So these do have to be, you do have to have a permit for these in Limos system. That is system-wide law, not just the main M-class planet.
Yeah, because you're gonna be shooting at people.
But the question is, like, who's really upholding these laws on Dysnomia? Because it doesn't sound like you will hear from your Underground Railroad contacts that Yeah, the cops here are generally, like, not anti-Supernat, but the ones I think otherwise they wouldn't have signed up to be here. Or might be some sympathizers, but the bulk of at least the cops on Logoi hate us and are perfectly okay to ignore problems that happen to us.
Right.
The military is more of a neutral party because they're like, we don't actually go here. So they kind of haven't ruled one way or the other, but the military, while there is a presence, they're not upholding the law here. But if, they see some shit, they're going to report it and bring in the proper authorities, but which holiday you also get a sense of from your contacts. So yeah, the cops here the cops there will not be your friends. The dozen combined military and cops on Dysnomia seem kind of sympathetic because they're like, oh, this sucks. This sucks to be these people. Oh man. But yeah, so you get a good sense of you get a good collection of starting places on how to hack the various and some initial impressions. Is that the ephemerate magic detecting one definitely works.
Yep.
And there is footage of it working. And I should have made this a computer's roll because this is really more of a computer search so far. But
I would have gotten a bonus.
Yeah, sorry. Well, you got 3 successes.
Yeah, it's fine.
All the cousins are excited because Dune is throwing a party. Hey, Dune's throwing a party. Dune's not throwing a party. Dune is not throwing a party.
I forget. You said, Merc, you said you'll be out next week? Or...
Yes.
So if that's the week where you all mosey on over, it might be just that Dune is unconscious.
Drag himself into oblivion
Yeah.
to try and avoid the Stygian Gate experience.
Yeah, Dune's on the ship. They're just unconscious.
Yeah, completely passed out. He is so passed out.
So, okay, so it is 10 o'clock. We can keep going for a little bit, but does anyone else have any more information they want to shake out of their various resources? And people?
Just sewer tips from the TMNT gang.
Yeah, I mean, they're interesting. They're kids. The Bat Pack is more like people in the space equivalent of their, like, 30s, 40s, 50s. Which is, like, double those years in space age.
Yeah.
So these are, like, literally kids. Like, these are people in their 20s, i.e. their 40s, but they're still children, and just like...
They do not respect the old man.
They don't disrespect you, because, Auntie Batman told them to respect you.
Yeah.
But it's like, you end up in a sewer grate, and they come at you around you from behind, but not like around, like around. And you definitely, you see mostly hoverboards in the city. You hear wheels against concrete. That kid is on an actual skateboard with wheels. Okay.
Whatever floats his boat, I guess.
Yeah. So they're like, yo, dude, what's up? Yeah, we can show you. We could totally show you. I've been waiting these kids to show up forever. We'll totally show you the way the sewers work, man. But I mean, it's gonna be different in every system. But okay, like, come on, woohoo! And so
They hand me a skateboard, and the only reason that Dune is still upright on this stupid skateboard is that he's got a combat plug-in, so he can balance, but he's not graceful on this thing. He's doing the classic snowboard thing. He's got both arms out, and he looks like he's about to fall over on, like, an ice skating rink or something, but he's not falling over.
Do an ollie.
They put Leatherhead on a skateboard.
Put what?
Leatherhead. Well, technically he's a great big crocodile dude, but he is a great big dude that the turtles are friends with.
Fair.
Anyway, So Patricio, what do you think about a cover for your company or whoever you're pretending to be going in? Or do you want to think about it some more?
Does anyone have ideas? Um, the students make sense. This is a big area. There's lots of traffic, and there's lots of traffic that has nothing to do with the Supernat stuff.
Missionaries.
It's not a company town.
Not
there's
officially.
30 billion people. It's mostly what cover.
Okay.
What was that, Holiday?
I don't think they're gonna like the Church of the Weird here, Sungrazer.
Oh no, that's outright illegal.
Oh no, we don't have to be Church of the Weird missionaries, but
What other missionaries would take us?
Religion is entirely illegal in the core. So,
I mean,
but not the Expanse.
Not the Expanse.
But they're trying to core.
Yeah. Makes it real hard for vampires to feed when religion is illegal.
I mean, I've got enough frat boy cousins. We could pretend to be a spring break trip.
That is an option. Although, unless we're a spring break trip with elite connections, which we could be, they're not going to be super happy with spring breakers carrying around weapons.
Oh, one thing Holiday and Sungrazer have gotten from their black market buddies. There are plenty of people carrying illegal weapons in the system. The trick is not getting caught.
Yep.
But getting a permit for a legal carry weapon is stupidly difficult, almost impossible. And it seems like it's a privilege only for cops, military, privatized security forces, which Paragon really wants to make the norm for this planet, because then they make more money. Because they're their subsidiaries. So yeah.
Yeah.
And private security forces are basically bonded or otherwise have to go through some kind of vetting procedure, or
usually, as an elite person who has had dealings with those, they do a very especially the megacorp subsidiaries do a very good job of vetting people, because if your client dies, you're in a lot of trouble.
Right. It was more of a question of what do you need to go through to make up your own shell private security company.
Because also they're very anti-union, so you can't go in as Karve because you're a union-based company.
Yep.
And the fact that I'm a mercenary union gets me nowhere.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
So, like, frat boys is an option. If we wanted to go expensive frat boys, we could do mining guild, maybe.
We also want to be something that gets us in a lot of places. We could be a documentation team from film school. So we're not serious and people don't have to care about what we write, but we have a reason to go anywhere.
Dune is a grip.
One note, so Idun system has a mining guild. They're not an official union thus far, or affiliate, or, they work with the unions.
Right.
That's not standard for most systems. Most systems, it's either a private company or a subsidiary of a megacorp. Often OmCon. So, you could go in as mining guild, but then there's like, who are you? What's a mining guild?
Can I get the captain who I rolled the bajillion successes on to get me a functional military ID for a month? As an inspector?
Oh, we could just steal an ID for you. That's true.
Okay, let me roll for him.
Okay.
Or you could steal an ID for you. I don't know.
I have a valid military ID. I just need to.
That's true.
Get it modified.
Oh, that's right. You have, yeah.
Yeah, he can get you one that'll be good for a month.
Okay. I can get myself in as a military inspector. I'm not sure what you guys are going to do for guns. Because inspection bureau doesn't send teams; they send individuals to check nuts and bolts and paperwork.
How do the individuals travel?
Usually by military ship. If they're coming from someplace different, they might take a civilian transport, but that still doesn't explain what you guys are going to do once you get there. Or how Dune's going to wander around with a bajillion guns.
I wasn't planning on wandering around with a bajillion guns.
You were going to bring more than one, and that was going to cause a problem.
So Holiday, he can get you the ID, but you would still have to go for weapons permits on your own.
Will be covered under my military identification.
You still need a permit to have a
right, but since I have a valid military identification for that identity, I will get myself a full set of credentials for my guns and equipment.
Sure, as long as it takes you less than a month.
Right. Well, theoretically, if I've got a military ID with the paperwork ready to go, it's like here, it's just routine at that point.
On a city of 30 billion people.
I'm going to do it at the inspection station on the way in.
Okay. Well, you can get it started there.
Yeah.
After that, it takes some rolling.
Oh yeah, that'll be fine. But like I said, I don't know how you guys are going to be carrying guns legally.
So Dune knows how to strip guns. Can take them apart and put them back together real fast because he cleans them every Thursday or Wednesday. Is it illegal to transport gun parts?
The law's a little bit hazy on that.
So I'll strip my guns and store the parts apart from each other, but in sections, like all the stocks go in this case, all the barrels go in that one, the firing pins in this, whatever, storing the parts separately but together with the similar parts from other guns. But that's how I'll break it up in mine. As far as carrying goes, we'll see when we get there, but if you do not mind, Portuccio, I would like a cover that allows me to continue to wear my
between Dune's contact with mercenary people and Sungrazer and Holiday, it is unusual for someone to take guns apart these days. It is generally a hush-hush boys technique to, carry the gun in the hidden, broken into pieces in the back of your suitcase. Like, that weird spy shit still happens, but it's very old school. Nowadays, any newer modern weapons are not meant to be taken apart.
So when we say...
Like with any megacorp, they're meant to break and then you buy a new one.
Yeah.
Is that unusual, as in they won't be looking for it?
It's unusual as that they might not be scanning for it.
Okay.
But
just put it in a box labeled machine parts, and unless they actually take it apart and start actually physically inspecting it, they're not going to know what it is.
People are a bit hazy on how these scanning measures work, but it sounds like people have been able to smuggle things in pieces if they can be taken apart.
Yeah.
But that is difficult to do with newer models because they're meant to be one piece that you break and you need to send the whole thing to the shop, like an Apple computer. Or so just replace, because it's cheaper to replace it than to fix it.
Leave the LDPR at home is what I'm hearing.
Because megacorps still work the same.
You can bring it, but it's going to be one of those. I'm not sure how fast you can put it back together.
Yeah.
Oh, fair. Yeah. Well.
Also, Sungrazer will eventually have stats for shielding on their ship, so that might also be a way to spoof it. I just have to work out the mechanics because that's not in the that's not in any of the stuff. But I can figure this one thing out, I think. But yeah, that is another common smuggler trick. But also just taking it apart.
Yeah. My question would be, and the grenades are definitely illegal, so I'm gonna have to leave basically all my grenades at home, except the nanite grenades. Can they prove that they're nanite grenades? Or can they tell them apart from nanite capsules, the kind that you use to heal people?
Let me see where those are in this document.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, they aren't in this document because LARP is all like, no grenades. I'll have to PM me on the Discord. I will have to look that up specifically.
They are in the document. Actually, they're in consumables. I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in consumables.
Well, they're in consumables as the tiny capsules.
The nanite grenades I'm talking about are in underneath consumables, and they're grenades technically, but they're not really exploding grenades. They shoot nanites all over the place, and nanites eat things. That's the whole thing. Instead of healing, the nanites tear people apart, and people and things apart. So.
Okay, nano repair system?
No.
It's got a funny name.
Yeah.
23.
Please give me
Right above drugs.
Right above drugs. Nanite grenade. From the repair module. Huh.
So they're literally a repair module that's been reversed into a destroy module.
Okay. The fact that it requires ephemerite to work, those are very expensive and very difficult to find.
Okay.
So I'll say that you said you had 2, I think, at some point. You still have those 2, but those were not easy to come by, and you will not be able to find
more
unless you're expending significant universal favors into the system.
Right.
Which I'm not saying you can't do, but it's like, that's a lot of resources.
Yeah.
So I will I'm gonna give you a maybe on the nanite grenades, and then work on that between games.
I didn't realize how expensive ephemerite was when I was writing the inventory list. Sorry.
Okay, well we'll rewrite it. We'll rewrite the giant list of weapons, and we'll figure it out.
Yep.
Also, the one thing, Dune's pretty good. Dune is basically bringing his weapons that he knows inside and out.
Yeah.
So you're not like an amateur going, I'm just going to take this apart and put it back together, and nothing could possibly go wrong, because that's not what you're doing.
I do it every Wednesday.
Yeah.
Take it apart, clean, make sure they're all good, that kind of thing. Every Wednesday it's clean the guns in the office, and then Thursday's clean the guns at home.
Doop-a-doo. Alright, so
I do have a question, Sungrazer. What does the inside of the hollow in the ship look like?
I haven't actually seen it in game yet. So.
That might be something to figure out, because that may affect a couple of things.
I'll give it a look when the dragon is sleeping.
Yep.
Oh, right, there's a dragon living in the hollow.
Yeah.
You might want to let in the vampire periodically to help continue to train the dragon not to eat people that we don't want to eat.
I do still need a mount, so.
The aquamarine dragon what eats people?
Dune still hasn't seen it again since he left, and he doesn't. I don't know that Dune knows you stuck it in the hollow in the ship.
Dune one night, after drinking copious amounts of werewolf moonshine, goes looking for the lavatory, opens the wrong door, comes face to face with the dragon. Shite.
You bastard! You bit through my best coat, and I don't appreciate it.
Slurp. It slurps your face.
Ugh.
It feels weird.
It's an aquamarine slurping sound.
It makes a slurping sound. It's the aquamarine dragon what eats people.
We need to have Welsh accents and Scottish accents and English accents all colliding.
Oh, we do. We do, Eden. Merc said, nope, this is a Welsh accent character, and now the whole wolf country is just the UK. And if we ever go there will be some Downton Abbey bullshit going on amidst everything else, I promise.
Dune cannot go there.
Dune can't go. That's fine. We'll
So what are you all considering for a cover identity?
So I think, given the cover identities we're currently using, me going as Blaine Russell actually makes a lot of sense.
Is Blaine Russell the CEO cover identity?
Rosalind.
It is in fact my actual person.
Ah.
Oh shit. Well, that's one way to do it.
Alternatively, I could simply go as a slightly younger, rich man from the Core, who's going with my bodyguard and my pilot, and this military person who's asked me for a lift.
What are we gonna do for Klaus?
Yeah, that's
your personal physician.
Yeah.
Klaus?
You're a rich
Chip's
bitch.
doctor.
Klaus had a medical license once.
Klaus is a doctor?
Well, Klaus has had some medical training, as far as I'm aware, and they mostly use it to prescribe recreational drugs to the young people in the clubs. And also once Presley, but that was Presley going off their nut because they'd been poisoned by someone else.
Sounds
But
much
they
more
don't have
Hippocratic.
medical training.
Oh, and Presley for the next while will be an NPC. So she is basically staying behind to watch The Office and Jimothy. And keep doing like the business part of the business. And she also has underground, specifically Underground Railroad contacts or allies on her sheet, so she can keep the side hustle going as well. Although more as a point of contact than an actual mover. So
Yeah.
But there's a lot of like legitimate business coming in right now, so it's like, oh, we can't just all leave it in the hands of the intern.
Yeah, no. Especially not the intern that was crying and blubbing over his
My lap,
custom
lap-
keyboard caps.
my compy! No!
But see,
My
that's
lappy
the
slightly
off-screen.
shotgunned.
That's the off-screen sitcom that can be retconned in later.
There you go.
Yes. Also, y'all being in a whole new system would be interesting opportunities for guests for the next while. So, but we'll see what happens. I do still keep mentioning you have that werewolf that's in your employ, but they're a wandering wolf called a Harbinger or Lodge of Harbingers. So someone might want to play them. We'll see. Or they're just out being weird. What?
Is that Starseed?
It was going to be, but now I'm like, if someone else wants to build this character, they could do that, and then I don't have to do it.
Because I have Starseed written on the carved sheet, and I'm going.
You have at least one Harbinger, Bone Shadow, Aether werewolf working for you, and their name is Starseed.
Okay.
And they are generally wandering around the Verge systems, looking for trouble and friends in trouble. And they check in now and then, but, they wander. I love Harbingers. Anyway.
I would probably not use your personal ID for a cover.
No, what I may want to do is use my personal ID as the cover behind the cover. Which is someone to say, if somebody realizes my cover is a fake ID and starts looking into it, instead of finding this person as Petruchio from Eden, they instead find this person as Blaine Rosalind.
Fair. A sadder idea than just going, yes, hello, this is my personal identity. I would like to burn this now.
Yep.
Yeah, because as far as your family knows, you are still a normal human being.
Yep.
Who's just had some work done. Like you do.
Auntie what's-her-face that you called is probably so jealous that you look, still look like a pretty 20-year-old, and she's like, oh, she's so natural.
I'm 30, so I'm only 20 years younger than I look. I'm 50, but
yeah. Well, Dune's 87, so
Cousin Endora.
Cousin Endora. All right.
There we go.
Yeah, I got a real Gosford Park vibe from her, which, given the connection between that and Downton Abbey,
I have it a snobbish bone in my body.
Yes. Her.
I mean, at least she's not a bouquet.
Bucket?
Bouquet.
Bouquet!
We've just gone totally off the rails at this point.
Ooh, it's silly o'clock. So, Petruchio, do you want to start rolling to build all those fake IDs for your?
Here, you can borrow my D100.
Sure. So how many people actually have fake IDs? Holiday's got their own thing going on.
Holiday has one. Klaus will need one. They are not here right now. They are trying to deal with the noise inside their head that does not make them human.
We could say we're taking Klaus for medical treatment.
Yeah, Klaus is trying to figure out what is happening.
Are these going to be extended checks or regular or plain checks?
You know what? I think this would count as an extended task.
Sure.
Just try and make the lot of them, because you're also you know how to make a fake background, and all these backgrounds should intersect.
Sure. So we're talking computers plus intelligence is our base?
Yes.
And is hacking relevant?
I would say it is.
Okay. So that starts at a 15, plus a die roll.
Yeah, I'd say you also have a specialty in forgery with crafts, but you can't mix that. You could mix hacking with crafts, but you still have a higher computer rating anyway.
Right. So the first roll is a fumble, but that's okay. So I have a little bit of a problem with my first setup. It's an extended check, so I can make that work. As I recall, the number of rolls you get is your rating. Is that right? For an extended check?
Book.
I think that's right.
Nice paper book with an index. Extended action. Okay, extended actions. Blah, blah, blah. Total number of successes required to complete an extended action. I'm gonna say you will need 20 successes.
Okay. And then how many rolls do you get in extended action?
Blah, blah.
There is a maximum number.
Can you just give me a chart book?
Not when we can give you 2 pages of exposition first.
Oh my god, yeah. You should read first edition for sake, and it was awful. Oh my god. Action durations, okay. Okay, so let's say this also takes you the better part of a week on and off.
Yeah.
So it is an exhausting task. But, you know, you're a perfectionist. Maybe. Maximum number of draws is equal to a character's...
Class can hook you up with caffeine.
Maximum number of draws possible equal to the character's pertinent attribute plus skills. So what's your you said int plus computers?
Just 10.
Okay. So you have 10 rolls in which to make 20 successes.
Yep. And actually 11 rolls because my data coprocessor gives me an extra 1 for extended actions.
Okay. Which is what that is for. We are finally using it. Yay! Okay.
Okay. So the first one, I started making up a set of forms for this, and then realized that the system I was building it in was decommissioned 10 years ago, and so I had to throw the whole thing out and start over again.
Yep.
So the next one I'm rolling against a 13 because I have a -2 because of that failure.
Mm-hmm. So is that a fail or a botch?
It was a botch. That botches give you a -2 on the next, and you have to come up with a reason why this got screwed up. The second one is also a botch, which is hilarious and increases the tension.
You are not allowed to roll dice anymore, apparently.
Get that
Fortunately,
dice
I get a lot of die rolls, but we'll see how if I keep rolling once. Does somebody else have an idea for how I screw up the second time? I'm guessing what happens is that somebody starts tracking, and some hacker is tracking me down based on the slowness of the first one. I have to spend a bunch of time evading them
and setting up false trails.
I would just Dune punched your computer off the desk.
Yes, except that some of the computers in my head, and that was really inconvenient.
Well, then you probably have an ice pack too.
Oh,
Yep.
or you realized, oh, this is a fake identity I burned already.
Sure.
Whoops.
I was gonna say a fake identity, but we're all the Golden Girls or something.
Do the botch penalties stack?
No, I
just for the
believe
next
it's for the next roll.
Okay.
So the next roll is also a 13. Maybe I won't roll a 1 this time. Maybe. Oh, it's a 2. That's much better.
So
and that's a 15, which is 3 successes. That's the third roll.
Mm-hmm.
So the fourth roll was a 31.
That is 8 successes.
It is 8 successes, which brings us to 11 total.
So you had a crappy first couple days of this, and then it's like, no, I got it. I remember how to do this. I could do this. Because you're used to. So another thing is you're used to making fake IDs for people who are leaving for the Verge, where no one will give a shit.
I'm
so
also.
You're a little rusty when it comes to. No, we're going further in towards the core, where people will be more careful, and I've forgotten how to do that. So it took you a few minutes. Aside from the other things, it's like, oh wait, I'm doing this backwards. Whoops. Okay, no, I got it now. I got it.
Okay, so the fifth roll is a 21. So that is 5 successes, bringing us to 16 total. We're full steam ahead.
Okay, 5 successes. So yeah.
However, we run into a whole
jail for dice for 10,000 years.
Jail for 1,000 years.
Oh, Sungrazer, are you Rose or Blanche?
I'm Sophia.
No, I think Klaus is Sophia.
No,
Klaus is Blanche.
Yeah, that's true.
I realized that I have been going nonstop for several days on a plugin that I had not worked seriously with before, and apparently it has some literal bugs in it, and I have to get them out of my ears. Well, I know, but
oh, gross.
So I take it you botched.
Yes.
Does that detract from successes already?
It does not.
Okay.
But it does the same thing in that I get no successes and I have a -2 on the next one.
Okay.
So that was the 6th roll, I think.
Yeah, that was the 6th roll. I'm writing them down.
Yeah.
On my Luddite paper pad.
So that is a 21, even with the -2. So
Awesome.
that is another 5 successes, and I think that brings us over 20.
Okay.
So with a little nap, a bit of time in torpor, but not very long.
No, torpor is very different.
No, it's not actually torpor, but it's a little bit of rest. My humanity is high enough. The torpor is not that long, but it's still too long.
Well, torpor also, I need to reread the second ed for Requiem, also impairs your memory however long you're in it.
Yeah.
And that's a crappy way to get brain fog.
Yeah.
So most vampires don't like dirt naps. They know they have to take them, but they don't like them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, kindred. All right, yeah. So 20 successes and 7 rolls. So
Yep.
yeah, that's pretty good. Solid C.
3 crit fest.
I'm going to go ahead and do the paperwork for my guns now, so that all I have to do is drop it off, and then fast talk whoever's in charge, say, hey, get this done.
Okay. That, I'm going to say, will take a social roll when you get there.
I mean, just have the paperwork ready, so just hand it to the guy and then actually sweet talk him into doing it.
Right. Okay.
Yes, let me make a social roll where I can see someone. That'll turn out poorly for them.
Yeah, your military buddy is like, yeah, there's basically a base. It's kind of a weird base because the planet is entirely made of city, but you know, you've basically got a dedicated military building to yourselves. You know, on loan, or you know, leased from the local government by the imperial government. Space is confusing, y'all.
Oh, I will talk to my court queen and say I need a token of some sort of just nonsensical changeling magic. I don't care what it does as long as it registers as changeling.
Okay.
So that when I
Wants a
actually set
token
up
of the Nova Court?
no, just anything in general. Just so that when I accidentally set off a changeling detector, I can say, "Good luck, charm."
Oh, all right, all right. She's like, all right. Let me see what I have.
Oh, like I said, we've got a little bit of time.
Yeah. I will
I'll
come
have
up with something.
some paperwork for the rest of you. For the rest of the courts here in a minute, but
She's like, all right, all right.
That is a question. Will the bat tokens I get from anti-Batman set off the detectors? They're technically bad spirits.
You don't know. Because they're dormant until you do a thing, and they only last a month.
Yeah, and I don't think they work across the abyss anyway, so they're not very helpful.
As long as you keep them in the ship within the bulkhead, they should
Right.
make it. I mean, if you're out in
They
the abyss
can
for a
make it.
month, that's a problem in
Right.
general.
Right, but I'm saying that, you know, hey, tell anti-Batman I'm in trouble, and I toss it, it's not crossing the abyss to tell anti-Batman that I'm in trouble. No.
No, it's not gonna, yeah.
No. So I don't know how useful it would be anyway, so.
Well, the thing is, you can technically send those to anyone. You just have to tell it who to go to.
Fair.
So it's just that you usually only send them to anti-Batman or her pack because they're the only wolves in the city.
Who don't have cell phones.
Yeah. Or if they do, they are very protective of those cell phones. Because Iron Masters know what can go wrong. Alright, so...
Actually, I'm definitely taking them with me now because...
Yeah.
I can get someone in a lot of trouble doing that.
Like I said, the ones you take with you will take a month.
Yeah.
Or will last a moon cycle, so we'll say 28 days.
Yeah.
Okay, so, magic knickknack. I'll think about that. Did I make you take talons as a background merit? Or as a merit?
No, you did not. Shoot. There's my character sheet.
Okay.
We can deal with that off.
Going forward, I think we should track those as a merit, since it's not something you can make yourself, but need supplied.
Fair.
Okay. So, all right, and I will talk to Klaus about what they want to do. So what are everyone's cover names?
Holiday.
No, your other one, the one on your faked military inspector, because basically what your friend had to do was find a real military inspector, and you were copying his identity, and he can hold that up for a month. He did not explain to you how, but he gave you an ID with a new name on it.
I gave you an ID with a new name.
Mm-hmm.
Masterson.
Okay.
Do we all get to choose?
You.
I'll be Mix Rosencrantz.
I'm Goon. Which is both a name and a job title.
Is that a name or a job title? Yeah, I don't need to know.
Jack, not name. Jack, job.
Do you ever go like this and go hand, and everyone else goes, yes, that is a hand.
No.
Okay.
Probably more something like
Oh, you weren't serious? Okay, I'll cross that off.
I wasn't serious, I'm sorry.
Okay.
God. I had names At least I can find them now.
Okay, Sungrazer, what is yours?
Oh. Lester Barrington Cheevy the third. I don't know. No. Actually, I like the. And if there's a Rosencrantz, then I'll be a Guildenstern.
Nick's Guildenstern.
Yeah.
Documents.
Coins are totally outmoded, admittedly.
Heads. That's still the only part of the movie I've seen.
It is also the only part of the book I've read.
It's so good.
I should read the rest of the stopper, and I should actually make our play group that do that.
Also, Sungrazer, are you bringing your own ship, or are you going with these guys?
I know.
I think the big ship has a airlock shuttle bay thing. I don't know if we decided that yet.
You're still working that out, but
Yeah, we'll work that out.
That can happen.
Theoretically, yes. It is currently Schrodinger's ship.
Yes.
Prosser.
To be determined.
Sorry.
Oh, so... What is the name of the hollow ship? That this won't cause any problems, I'm sure. Because a ship needs a name.
To be determined.
Wait, are we talking about the real name, or are we talking about the fake name for the purpose of this mission?
Either or both.
Both, yeah.
The SS Butter Cookie.
SS Butter.
No. No, to be determined. We should actually talk about it. But
The working title, Express.
Working title.
There you go.
You oriented.
Oh god.
the Ever Given.
We'd have to make it a bigger ship for that.
Yeah, that's true.
And we will ask Klaus what they want to be called.
The SS Perchance to Dream, because it's got a fucking hollow in it.
Alright. Oh god, it's 10:42.
It
Okay.
is.
So is there anything else anyone wants to cover?
Dune's cover name is Derek Prosser. Derek with a C and not a K.
2 R's?
One
Holiday
R.
will be pestering the rest of the courts for providing supplies and relief efforts for whatever's about to happen, regardless of what we're doing, so that we can take some food and supplies and other things for these people who are probably deprived.
On dysnomia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Noble suggestion.
Okay.
I will harass the various courts and, do that talkie man thing that I do.
Excuse me.
Okay, I'll say that that's pretty easy to do because, this city has a lot of resources. And the changelings would not mind more changelings.
The rest of you we're going to leave behind, but change the whole thing.
Werewolves? Fuck them.
So Derek, what was the last name?
Prosser.
Prosser?
I put it in the Discord.
Oh, okay.
Rhymes with tosser.
Alright. Alright, so yeah, we'll start compiling just how much guns you have room for and other stuff, because ironically, if the XP spends you want to do on the hollow ship go through, then you have a lot of space for just like, let's just fill up the hollow with goblin fruit.
I was going to bring regular food for people who eat real food too, but...
Oh, you could do that too, yeah. That's you could do that.
But if it's from the hedge, do you really want to eat it?
Oh, the changelings will, but no, it's not coming from the hedge. It's stored in a crate that we put in the hedge. There's
Fair. Okay.
And based on your black market ties, it's like, yeah, a lot of people are just trying to get regular stuff from black market and legit market traders and the Merchants Guild.
Yeah,
basically, the Merchants Guild is the only one not yet suffering because it's just fencing so much stuff in, or just delivering so much stuff into the system.
Yeah.
Or at least for dysnomia.
Let's see if we can provide a capital injection to the system that sets it on fire. That'll be great.
Okay, yeah, so I think, is anything else, or is that game?
That could be game. I don't have any other mischief.
Our strange pseudo shopping episode.
Did anybody buy anything?
I bought a vibroblade.
Fair enough.
Technically, it could be said that some of you bought information for drinks or
Third-
favors or.
Information.
Speaking of which, should I write down a favor ode?
I mean, your family. That's
Yeah, it's fine.
yeah. Your family isn't. Some of you were super strict on it, but it was also just like, oh, it's nice to hear from my cousin nephew. Or oh, there's no gender neutral for that fucking one. It's so nice to hear from my cousin.
Nibbling.
Nibbling.
All right. Thank you, chat, for sticking with us, because tonight was a late game, because I've had a feeling like y'all want to be prepared before going into whatever the fuck this is going to be. But there may indeed be a tonal shift in the game as our players exit Eden for another system.
Exit from Eden.
Exit from Eden. For another system for a while, where things are not quite so idyllic. Am I saying that word right? I don't know. I'm an American.
I mean, it's pronounced Idlewild. I don't know.
Idyllic. I don't know. But yes, sorry if we didn't get to all those NPC purchases, but oh, they are sparking ideas, Fadier. It's gonna be fun. Woohoo! Because they gotta go through space to get there. Space! And
All
space,
them gates.
all them gates.
Dune's gonna get so sloshed. That's just how it's gonna work.
And abyssal proximity. Maybe. We'll see.
If another goose shows up, it's gonna be bad.
I will point out that we can't put holes in the ship because you're mad at a goose.
I like how you say it like it's optional.
Honk. Just floating by. Honk.
We should name the ship the Goose. That'll turn out great.
No, don't do that.
The loose goose. The noose goose. The goose noose. I don't know. We'll talk about this a lot on the Discord, I'm sure.
The
Alright, chat.
Untitled game ship.
The untitled.
Game ship.
There you go.
Alright, chat. I'm sorry for all the noise, the sound problems earlier. Maybe next week we'll figure that out again. I'm just hoping all our voices are heard on the VOD this time, because otherwise I'm going to be really pissed. Because I also use these to keep track of my own game. And I can't read lips. Anyway, I'm the GM. I'm running this unnamed goose ship.
Unnamed space adventure.
This unnamed space... No, it's got a name, though.
Fair.
So I run this. This is Exit to Eden. If you just... If you missed the beginning, this is NWoD in space. 6,000 years in the future, space opera, cyberpunk, Casablanca in space, all the weird shit. And it's fun. And it's mixed creatures, because 6,000 years in the future in space, they dropped the veil. Whoops.
Dunk.
Thunk. Is our sound even still up? Yeah, sound is fine now, so it was just fucking music ruining everything. So yes, I am the GM, Ms. Chrysala. Hello, good night. Find me on the social medias. And let's go counterclockwise. So, Dune, who are you in your home?
I'm Mark. I played Dune this evening. I'm a mod over on the Zombie Orpheus Twitch, so should definitely come watch those shows. Mondays it's the Reliables. Wednesdays it's the Void Jumpers at 6 p.m. Pacific. Both days. Which is 9 p.m. Eastern, so it is a bit late.
Okay. Next up, Sungrazer. Who are you when you're not twerked out on caffeine?
I'm Puka. I've been hanging out on Twitch and Discord, but that's about it, really. I don't have anything to pitch or anything, so enjoy your evening.
Holiday. Who are you when you're not Holiday or Masterson?
Zardoz, at Once and Future Doctor on Twitter.
You do lots of Warhammer stuff. Yay!
I do a lot of things, yes.
And minis and Latin that makes Klaus/Dracus's ears bleed.
That's not me. That's
Oh, that was someone else.
I just helped.
Okay.
Helped.
And Patricio, who are you when you're not Rosencrantz?
When I'm not Rosencrantz, I'm Josh. Rather than talking about myself, I'll talk about a book a friend of mine just came out with. So Lee Gold just published Valhalla Away Without Leave, which I was an early reader on, where a D&D player dies, and due to her character and also the manner of her death, ends up in Valhalla and decides to try to avert Ragnarok. It's a hoot.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
It is really fun. Absent Without Leave. Thank you, Lisa.
Also sounds like a lot of animes I've heard about recently. So-and-so died and came back as a slime mold. Or a character in this fantasy world that is a gelatinous cube, but not copyright infringemented. Anyway, so yes, thank you for hanging out with this chat. I know game ran late, but I wanted our friends to shore up their resources for the winter, so to speak. Oh, I'm throwing you into an interesting sandbox, and I'm looking forward to it. World of Darkness just got dark again. It is twilight. We'll see. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be different. I have a whole lot of books to review. So, we're going to raid DJ Dirge, who is ironically a person I know through World of Darkness bullshit. Yeah, and they do fun gothy DJ sets. Because last time, Dice Cult is on, but last time when we raided them, they had already finished, so I don't know what's going on with their schedule. So,
and we are later than usual.
Ready to raid. So, good night, chat. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I hope we distracted you for a fun 3 or so hours, and we will see you next week for more hijinks in space. Bye!